will.
I'm just about to start just bringing down my iPad.
That's
All right.
an idea as well.
Welcome back.
Karen,
Another
look at
week,
the
another movie.
Sorry.
We are the Bonsai Movie Crew.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
We'll try to set this up.
Hi.
Don't forget to check out our TikTok, our X, our Facebook. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe us on YouTube and Rumble. Do we have... We don't have an Instagram yet, do we?
Yeah.
Oh, we do? We just don't promote that shit?
I don't have access, so...
Oh, she has it?
Yep.
Oh.
What do we have?
What are you laughing about? Fucking useless.
I could put the videos that I do on there if I had access, but I don't.
I can do that. I just gotta save the video and then post it to the thingy.
Alright.
I can do that in like 15 minutes.
Okay, anyway. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all that stuff. Make sure you rate us. What am I forgetting? Leave us some comments and all that good stuff. We like to interact with you guys. Man, let's get into that character profile. It's a doozy this week.
Yikes.
So, in light of everything that's going on, we're going to talk about Danny Masterson this week. He is our creator profile. The only thing he's going to be creating now, though, is bars of soap. So,
Well,
No, you
more
drop.
likely. Oh, do they still do license
I don't know.
plates?
Do they still? I don't know. They might still do license plates.
Because I don't think he's gonna be making the bars of soap. Might be dropping them. But
Ooh.
he might
Make
be
a-
on the opposite
I'll give him
ends.
2 years tops.
Making other people drop so.
Anyway, let's get into this shit.
Uh,
Yeah, I gave you the
It's-
best
it's
page.
ugly.
yeah, you did, Dick.
It's an ugly page.
It's a rough one.
It's a
Why
rough
I
one.
gotta read.
Well,
What
because
color is
you're
it?
a
I'm a
better
girl, I
you're a
guess.
better reader.
Yeah. Okay.
And who better to put that shit out there than
Yeah.
a female?
Yay.
You're a female and you're not a minor. Sorry.
I'm only 15.
16. You're right.
All right. So Danny Masterson was born on March 13th, 1976 in Long Island, New York. Danny Masterson is one of the two sons of Carol and Peter Masterson. His brother Christopher, and also an actor and disc jockey, is also an actor and disc jockey. So he's got two siblings that I know of that act. One of his siblings is the guy from Last Man Standing. You ever seen that show with Tim Allen?
I've heard of it. I've never watched
So
it.
he plays the boyfriend of the oldest sister. He's the dark-haired, kind of dark complected. Actually, he don't look anything like Danny Masterson. I never even knew they were brothers until today. And then he's also got a sister who acts. Who
Probably would appreciate it if
Right.
nobody knew.
He's also got a sister that acts, and she plays Tara on The Walking Dead.
Actually,
Yeah, that's his
I
sister.
love
I didn't
her.
know that either because I really liked her too.
Yeah,
I
know
love her
Tara.
so
Yeah.
much.
Wow.
So that's his sister.
She's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
I just recently got to the part again where she comes into the show.
Go for it.
But yeah, so I didn't know that until today. I didn't even know he had any siblings that even acted. So anyway, his maternal half brother Jordan and maternal half sister, I think her name is Alana, have also followed in their older brother's footsteps into the world of acting through his father. He is another half brother, Will. Has another or whatever. Anyway, Masterson's parents, Carol and Peter, parted ways not long after Christopher's birth. His mother was a manager while his father was an insurance agent. Danny Masterson began his career as a child model at the age of 4, appearing in various magazine articles. After he turned 5, he began doing television commercials. He was also interested in acting, and when he was 8 years old, he started performing in musicals. However, he lost his pleasant voice when he was a teenager. He started squeaking a little bit. He is featured in more than 100 commercials. He has worked for popular brands such as Swift Premium, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, Hardee's, Hostess, Tang, and Clearasil. Huh.
Clear
You think he was in the Clearasil one about the time he lost his voice? Because that would have made sense. started getting a bunch of acne.
How
and
old
shit.
is Clearasil? I've only been seeing that recently.
It's been around since I was a kid.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember even seeing like ads in the 80s when I was a kid and stuff
Yeah.
like back on the TV.
Clearasil.
Yeah.
So
Clearasil.
in 1988, Danny Masterson got his first opportunity to portray a character on the small screen. The role was of a young boy named Butch in a season 1 episode of Jake and the Fat Man. I've never even heard of that. In 1993, he appeared in the family movie Beethoven's Second, his first film. That year he was also cast as Leo Gennaro in the short-lived ABC sitcom Joe's Life. Between 1994 and 1995, he played various recurring roles in ABC's sitcom Roseanne, ABC's police procedural drama show NYPD Blue, and ABC adventure drama Extreme. Through the 1990s, Masterson appeared in a number of films, including Bye Bye Lover, Face Off. He was in Face Off?
Where?
I'm trying to think. I think he did. Wasn't he like the boyfriend or something?
Well, I mean, yeah, he was in it, obviously.
I think
but
he was
who
a boy.
was
I
he?
think he was the boyfriend of the teenage girl.
I'm gonna look that up.
I'm wanting to say that's what he was.
'Cause I am intrigued.
Grandma
he was in-
Kathy had me watch Face Off with her.
He was
That's the
in-
one where they switch faces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Trojan War, Star Kid. I didn't know that. I remember him in The Faculty, and Dirt Merchant. In 1996, he made guest appearances in CBS's horror series American Gothic, HBO's sketch comedy Tracy Takes On, and Fox's teen drama Part of Five. Part of Five?
Party of Five?
Is that what they
perhaps?
meant? Because this
He
says
played Carl, whoever the fuck Carl was.
Face Off. I want to say he was the boyfriend, the girl's boyfriend.
Look up Carl and Face Off.
Okay.
Or you could look up the boyfriend of the girl in Face Off.
This is
weird.
it's gonna bug me.
It will bug me because I'm like, Face Off. I've seen that movie 100 times, and I don't ever remember
Google
seeing him
your
in
best
it.
bet.
I bet he was the boyfriend or something because he would have been about that age.
Danny Masterson's character attempts to sexually assault his girlfriend before getting his ass kicked by John Travolta.
Oh.
There you go.
Some foreshadowing there, huh?
Whoops.
Whoops.
So he was the
After he did
boyfriend.
that role, he probably was like, I need to work on that. I need to do that in real life.
That was her.
I need more
That was her
practice.
boyfriend.
Yeah, he needs more practice. That's what he's telling us. Oh, I need more practice. Oosh. Eesh.
That's so messed up.
Wow.
Anyways.
Oh, you think now if they show that scene do you think they'll show that scene on TV whenever they show it on like cable television?
Probably.
A little too close to home, I think.
I mean, I'm probably sure they still
probably
show
still
it
show
because
But I knew that it was probably her boyfriend.
yeah, you're right.
Man. All right. Anyway,
Would have fit the right age, I guess.
he appeared in his first television film, Seduced by Madness. Ooh. Wow, dude, you got a lot of sexual innuendos that lead to your ultimate demise in a lot of your movies.
That's what it was. He was a method actor.
Yeah, right.
That's awful.
All right, so he played Justin Thorpe in Chuck Lorre's Sybil, whatever that is. In 1998, Masterson began playing a supporting role in the series That 70s Show. And the same show, Ashton Kutcher portrayed Michael Kelso, who was also a member of the same group of friends as Masterson's character. In 2000, he played the role of Nightshade in a vampire horror film, Dracula 2000. I remember that. 2 years later, he was cast in the black comedy Comic Book Villains. I remember that. He continued to work in low to mid-budget films in 2000s and 2010s. It's your turn.
In 2012, Masterson began starring in TBS sitcom Men at Work. He portrayed Milo Foster, a man who had just gotten out of a relationship and attempts to make his way into the dating scene with the help of his friends. Created by Breckin Meyer, this TV series also starred Michael Cassidy, Adam Bush. Adam Bush?
Sure.
Okay. Meredith Hagner and James Leisure. Lesser?
Why do you keep looking at me? I don't
Because you
either.
know these people.
I don't know them all. It's like I'm like personal
You
friends with
act
everybody
like
in
it.
Hollywood. Yeah, I sat next to that guy on a plane once.
TBS.
Held
We were
hands.
both flying out to Epstein's Island.
Did you guys skip to the loon?
You ever seen
Whoa.
Who's That Girl? There's a running joke in that movie where everybody's been in their cab, or the same girl's always been in everybody's cab, which was like a sexual innuendo, and she's the fiance of some guy. So every time they're like, they say her name, oh yeah, I had her in my cab once.
Anyways, TBS aired the show for 3 years before canceling it in May 2004. Thought I was gonna sneeze. I didn't though. Hang on. In 2016, Masterson and Kutcher reunited to play the brothers
Like how
Colt
she looked at him
Kutcher
when she was
and
supposed to
Jameson
sneeze.
Rooster Bennett Masterson in Netflix sitcom The Ranch.
Did you guys watch The Ranch?
I watched a couple of seasons.
Who did he
of it.
play
I
in The
didn't get
Ranch?
into it though.
I liked it. We watched the whole thing.
Did you? I
Wait,
couldn't get
which
into it.
was it? The old guy in The Ranch? Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah.
No, he was the brother to Ashton Kutcher in The Ranch.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
dad was shit.
I can't remember his name, but he was in The Big
Sam.
Lebowski. Yeah, Sam.
Elliot.
Yep, Sam Elliott.
Well, the show also stars Sam Elliott.
Oh Jesus
Sam
Christ!
Elliott.
Making us use all our brain.
All our brain. We have one.
It runs out eventually.
The show also stars Sam Elliott
other
as
one.
Bo Burnett, Colt and Rooster's father. Wait, did he play as Rooster?
Yeah.
That's that guy.
Yeah.
He
He was like the best character in the show.
and Deborah
He's the
Winger
best
as
character
Maggie
on
Bennett.
The
the
70s show,
70s
too.
show
Yeah.
too.
He really was.
Masterson has worked as a producer on both Men at Work and The Ranch. He also produced his 2008 film The Brooklyn Heist, for which he became the co-recipient
Recipient.
of the Jury Award for Best Florida Comedy. Other ventures. Since 1999, Danny Masterson has been active as a disc jockey in the Los Angeles nightclub scene.
Which is so weird. It goes from being like this A-list like TV series actor to just a disc jockey in LA.
is turned into a side business for him.
Maybe he just really enjoys it. Well, enjoyed it.
Or is it just a good way to get out there on the dance floor and
It's a good way to
drop,
drop some
drugs in people's drinks?
He often
Drop some
describes
tabs.
himself as a rock and hip hop fanatic. He also listens to indie, electro, and funk music and incorporates all of them into his DJ sets.
He
He's a
really does
DJ.
just sound like a total
Douche?
yeah.
Kind of does, yeah.
Masterson is a former owner
Kinda
of
sleazy.
a lounge and bar named
Gross.
Downstairs,
Gross.
situated in Park City, Utah.
Crazy.
Flipping
He's
down.
an avid poker player and has participated in 2005 GSN series, The James Woods Gang versus the Unabombers, as a member of the latter team.
He really does just sound like the type of person that like
Greasy.
yeah,
you
like
don't-
like you're a fucking sleazeball, dude.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you know what I mean?
like every character I've ever seen him play, I've liked. Like I thought he was hilarious, but like in real life, I think I'd probably punch him in the face.
yeah, you're like so you're a DJ. You like all types of music, which is fine.
Sure.
But then you're telling me that like he runs nightclubs and everything else. He does poker tournaments and you know like he
Just like everything they're saying just
Yeah.
makes him more and more greasy to me. Like, oh,
like he sounds like somebody that you'd meet and you're like you're a fucking douchebag.
yeah,
Like
Just-
he's the type of person that like yeah, I could see you dropping drugs in a female's drink to rape them.
yeah.
That's fucked up.
Major works.
None of these are redeeming qualities, I guess.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
You look at
Nothing
the-
against
you look-
DJs or anything
No,
like
but
that,
you look,
but
you
like
look at the checklist of
DJ's
somebody that
like,
you think
wait.
would rape somebody, and you're going, yep, 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 yep,
Right.
yep.
yeah.
Sorry.
In Fox's period sitcom That 70s Show, 1998 through 2006, Masterson portrayed Stephen Hyde, a blunt, sarcastic, and witty character who serves an archetype for anti-establishment characters in the traditional American TV shows of the 1970s. Masterson's co-stars were Topher Grace, Mila Kunis.
Yes.
Okay. Ashton Kutcher, Laura Prepon, and Wilmer Valderrama.
Yes. Fez.
Sure.
He was also pretty good.
We
Fez
also
was
love
good.
Fez.
Yes.
But then again, he's had allegations against him too in the past.
Yeah.
I don't think they're sexual assault though. I think they're actually assault.
Yeah.
Charges
Yeah,
or
he's
something
got
like that.
anger issues,
Yeah.
what I heard, yeah.
Hyde's relationship with Kunis's character Jackie Burkhart
Damn, Jackie. Sorry.
was one of the main subplots of the show. Family and personal life. In 2005, Danny Masterson began a relationship with actress, singer, and model
Good
Bijou
job.
Phillips. Bijou?
Bijan.
Bijan?
Bejon.
There's no N! French people. God.
French.
Sounds like a condiment. Yes, I'd like some Bijan on the side.
That's what Danny Masterson said.
No, that was his DJ business. That was on the side.
Dijon on the side.
DJ
DJ on the side.
It's
on the side.
Dijon on the side.
Bijan.
Vijon.
Not Bijan. B. But
Way too much
Bijan.
fun with that.
Blowjobs on the side.
And there
it's,
it is.
It's BJing on the side.
Well, we made it 16 minutes.
balls.
Blowjobs on the side.
Balls.
Balls.
After meeting her at a celebrity poker tournament in Las Vegas, Nevada. Can you guys say Nevada the right way?
Nevada.
I
Nevada.
thought it was Nevada.
Nevada.
I think it's one of those things like you
Navaja?
say tomato, I said tomato.
Huh?
I think it's one of those things you can say either way.
Tomato.
It's
Nevado?
not tomato.
It's Nevado.
Tomato is like
No,
what you would
I don't
say if
think
you
that-
were in English.
It's
but-
it's
really
it's
fucking-
Nehedo. It's Nehedo. The
Yeah,
V is
Nehedo.
silent.
Yeah.
Nevado.
Nevada.
Novato.
Nevado.
Novato.
Nevada.
All right, continue.
Nevada.
Continue.
We went off course.
A little bit. After getting engaged in 2009, they tied the knot in an intimate ceremony on October 18, 2011. They have one daughter together, Fiona Frances Masterson, born February 14th, 2014. They waited to get married to have a kid. I've
Well,
never
yeah,
heard of
he was
anyone doing that.
Preoccupied with extracurricular activities.
I mean,
Obviously.
that's not a bad thing. It's a good quality to have, but the other qualities ain't so good.
Masterson
Feel
is a
sorry for his kid.
Scientologist, and his involvement with the
There's the problem.
controversial charity organization New York Rescue Workers Detoxification Project has drawn some criticism. The organization has
Some?
financial connections with the Church of Scientology.
All right.
You
There it is.
are in.
Yep, there it is. And here comes the bad part.
In March 2017, 4 women came forward accusing Masterson of rape, which they said
Just
he
jumped
had
right
committed
into that.
in the early 2000s. The Los Angeles Police Department soon began an investigation, but they eventually dropped the case. As for Masterson, he has maintained that he is innocent. I love how they always say, like, that he's maintained his... Who's going to be like, oh, yeah, no, I did it. My bad. Yeah, my bad. Like, they're always going to say they didn't do it.
Bill Cosby did the same thing. I didn't do it.
Yeah. In November of 2017, Cedric Bixler Zavala, the vocalist of the American rock band At the Drive-In, stated in a Twitter post that his wife had been raped by Masterson. She is one of the 4 original accusers. He further revealed that their song Incurably Innocent is based on the incident. In December of 2017, Netflix dismissed him from the ranch. That month, another woman accused him of a similar crime. In January 2018, several news outlets reported that the United Talent Agency had severed all their ties with Masterson. How did they replace him on the ranch?
They didn't. Well, they did. They brought in Dax Shepard.
Yeah.
They didn't replace his character. They just replaced
Like the
that
slot, but like,
person.
but what
Yeah.
happened to his character though?
So his
That's what I'm
his
asking.
character, he was being hunted, essentially harassed by this lady's ex old man, and he pretty much told him, "Get out of town, or I'm going to kill your ass." And so he leaves. And then later on, his brother, who was played by Ashton Kutcher, finds his bike on the side of the road next to a cliff where it looked like he had gone over the cliff.
Oh.
So they weren't sure if he was, but his body was never found. So they weren't sure if he was dead or alive within the show.
Oh.
So it was kind of like,
It's kind of dark for that kind of a show.
it was very dark. It was very, I was like, wow, that's, we're
They
taking it
could
too.
have figured out like a way to make it
But-
a little less dark, I guess. But
Goddamn. But
Sorry,
yeah,
I passed them to you.
it was a fucking, because whenever all that shit came about, I was balls deep in the ranch.
Yeah.
And I loved the show. I thought it was great because I'm not a country person or anything like that, but I loved Danny Masterson and I loved Ashton Kutcher and I loved Sam Elliott and the whole cast was great. It was a good show.
I don't
It
remember
kinda
why I
like-
stopped watching it. I
It
just
reminded
did.
me a lot of Roseanne in a way
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I
it
can see
had
that.
those serious moments, but it was also very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that funny shit came from Danny Masterson's character, which
Yeah.
was awesome. But whenever they took him off and they brought in Dax Shepard, which was pretty cool because Dax did a pretty good job. I did like him in
I
the
like
show.
Dax Shepard.
But like,
This is an 81 Honda.
Yeah.
How dare you?
so, but it's a good show, and I feel bad that I feel bad for the victims, but
Yeah. 3 women, all members of the Church of Scientology, had accused Masterson of raping them at his home between 2001 and 2003, and he was arrested in 2020. A deadlocked jury led to a mistrial in the case in November of 2022. The prosecutors moved to retry the actor earlier this year. Masterson was found guilty of 2 counts in the retrial, while the jury couldn't reach a verdict on the third. Masterson has repeatedly denied the allegations, saying the acts were consensual. However, prosecutors argued that he put drugs in the women's drinks and that the actor used his connections within Scientology to evade consequences. On Thursday, in Los Angeles Superior Court, Masterson received the maximum sentence for his crimes. The 47-year-old was convicted of 2 counts of forcible rape in May and had been in custody since, according to the Associated Press. The actor can file a notice of appeal within 60 days, according to deadline. As it stands now, he will be eligible for parole upon serving 25 and a half years in jail. After hearing statements from the victims describing the suffering they had experienced in the years following the rapes, Superior Court Judge Charlene F. Almeida addressed Masterson as she read her sentence. I know that you're sitting here steadfast in your claims of innocence, and thus no doubt feeling victimized by a justice system that has failed you. But, Mr. Masterson, you are not the victim here. Your actions 20 years ago took away another person's voice and choice. One way or another, you will have to come to terms with your prior actions and their consequences.
I give him 2 to 3 years tops. He's, for one, part of the Church of Scientology, and for 2, he's an actor. What Bill Cosby do? 2-3 years, something like that. But they released him on a technicality. They'll do the same thing here. It'll happen. It's not a good thing. Honestly,
Unfortunately, I wish I could argue that, but
you can't because it's true. It happens all the time.
And unfortunately, I would say in this instance, it's going to be more the church than it is going to be
Oh, 100%.
Hollywood.
Yeah. So the 2 girls the 3 girls that had came forward and he had to go to court for were actually members of the Church of Scientology. So it makes me wonder a little bit how much they backed him. But at the same time, man,
it doesn't mean
it's fucked up. And
they've done like there's been so many women that have like backed
That's
out
true.
of that church
That's
because
true.
of the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
that they treat women and stuff.
yeah,
So, like,
what's her
I
name?
don't-
Leah Remini
Leah Remini
and
yep.
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes.
But
Like they're what like
she
women-
was forced into the church.
sure, but
Yeah.
like women are not even allowed to like scream during childbirth.
Right.
Like, you're not even allowed to make a noise.
It's very weird. It's a fucking cult for one.
We're just
waiting for them all to drink the Kool-Aid. But I don't condone any of this. It sucks that it had to be Danny Masterson because he was awesome.
Unfortunately, it
But-
seems like
His
the
acting.
ones that are really like good at the craft also seem to have such demons.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
mean, like it's Stacy, you know, like Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
God, like that was a fucking kick
That's
to
a
the
yeah.
nuts.
Or like in Bill Cosby case, he was America's fucking dad, man, for years. And look at how, where he's at, or I don't know, man. Well, even with the case with like Michael Jackson back in the day, they accused him of like child molestation and things like that. He was the king of pop,
Yeah.
you know. And to
Did
sit,
he actually do that?
I
though?
think he did. To think that he didn't is ridiculous. He paid some people off.
The only thing that gives me pause on Michael Jackson is Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman has been so vocal about people in Hollywood being
Just because he
kitty-
didn't do it to Corey Feldman.
I know. I'm
And-
just saying that's the only one that gives me pause, just because he's so vocal
Right.
in being a proponent for Michael and he was with him all the time.
Yeah.
I guess that's the only one that gives me pause. That's the only thing that makes me go, maybe. But yeah.
Right. I get you. But anyway,
What happened to Michael Jackson again?
he was accused.
No, how'd he die?
He got, I think it was pneumonia complications from some medication.
I think his daughter
he was
gave him
on.
too much medication. Or the
Right,
wrong
but he had
medication.
like pneumonia or whatever,
Mhm.
and then he took this medication on top of medication or whatever with the pneumonia, the combination.
I think they even tried to convict his doctor for it or some shit. Or
Yeah.
get his doctor in trouble.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "What do you expect from a dude that's taking all these different drugs to get through his everyday life?" Like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I mean, he was too. Same as Prince. Prince was on a bunch of drugs for trying to get through his everyday life. They lived hard lives. I mean, Michael
Yeah.
Jackson had a fake fucking nose.
He did?
Dude had a lot of
Yeah.
problems. Yeah,
Why?
because of all the skin surgeries and shit that he had to have.
He was nutty as a fruitcake.
Why do you have to have a bunch of skin surgery?
He had a skin defect. It was like, what do they call that?
He said he had vitiligo, but
It was like a pigment.
he did that on.
He's
he
a
did that
weirdo.
himself.
He's just a weird dude. He was cool back in the 80s, but
Yeah.
I don't
He was cool when he was Michael, not when he tried to turn into Peter Pan.
yeah. I think we're all about Chicken did it the best. Whenever old Michael Jackson came back from, I think they abducted old Michael Jackson and
Oh yeah,
left
yeah.
the alien here to,
Yeah. The alien was the Peter Pan Michael Jackson, and
Yeah.
the original was
80s.
80s Michael Jackson or whatever.
And then he comes
Thriller
back
Michael
and kicks
Jackson.
alien Michael Jackson's ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on here. Let's get into what everybody's been watching.
What the hell have you been watching?
Let's start with me. Oh man, yeah, I'm changing shit up. What up with it?
You've done this before.
Not me. I've never started with me.
Yes, you have.
You
Not right
have,
off-
but it's been like once, I think.
Oh.
Twice.
Well, anyway, I remember what I watched
I
the
think.
week before. It was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and that's why I forgot it because
I
it
almost
sucked.
commented on the video. I was like, it was Indiana Jones, in case anybody was wondering.
No, I thought I held out until this week because it wasn't a good movie.
No,
No,
I haven't watched it yet.
And you know what the
I
main
don't have high hopes though. 'cause,
you know
like,
what the main problem with the
other one
movie
wasn't
is?
good.
You know what the main problem is?
They need to quit making them.
He's too fucking old. He's goddamn 80 years old. He can't fucking move. He's an old guy. He's not
They're tying
So,
up his
in his
strings by
30s
now.
or 40s
like-
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
because I watched it too, and I was not.
Yeah. it's
I haven't
just-
watched it yet.
He's old.
I wasn't impressed with the last one. The one with the aliens.
I
or
wasn't
whatever.
either. That's why I was like, yeah. And then they took Shia LaBeouf. I don't know if anybody's planning on watching it. Okay, so Shia LaBeouf's
Well,
character
I'm
is
sure he's not in it. Did
No,
they
he's not in it.
Did they retro him or did
no,
they?
no. They just said he died.
Yeah, they killed him. All.
He went to war and died.
Yeah.
Well, that's even horrible.
Yeah.
That's
I'm like,
worse.
wow.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and that's what created the conflict between him and his old lady. And I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they bring in this woman who's supposed to be his goddaughter,
Yeah, she's
and
She's a douchebag.
yeah, she's kind of a douche.
Yeah.
So
kinda.
I didn't care for the movie. Wasn't good. The best part was what's his face who played the main villain. He played Hannibal in the series.
Oh, in the series.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
series.
I know who you're talking about. He also played some Nazis and some stuff, but I don't remember.
Yeah, he was
I don't remember
awesome.
his
He did a
name.
really good job. I really liked him. Also,
He's always does like a great job.
yeah, he's a good
Playing
actor
alone.
regardless. I also watched Last Voyage of the Demeter, and I watched what other movie did I watch? I watched another one here. What did we watch with you guys? We watched. I always forget a fucking movie.
So do I.
I know I need to write them
There's
down.
a-
I thought about it. It's just like, no, because I was rattling them around in my brain all day today. Like thinking like, no, I know.
I
these
won't
movies-
forget.
I won't forget. I won't forget. I won't forget. And I've forgotten what it
Because
is.
there's another movie that I had.
Oh, Strays. I watched Strays.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. Okay, so I watched Strays, and it started out funny, and then I didn't like it because the dick and balls and the shit jokes, it got old.
I didn't get through the whole movie.
You didn't? I didn't. I got old to me, and it was funny when it started, and it was very endearing by the end, and I liked it. But I thought that they got stale. The jokes got stale towards the end of the movie. I know you're gonna say, well, there's a place for that, and that's.
The whole movie is. I mean, did you see the trailer?
I
You
didn't know it
weren't
was gonna be like.
expecting?
I know, but it was just like, how many f bombs can we throw in here with, But some of the shit was clever. I will give them that.
Well, and they didn't try to hide the fact that that was the kind of movie you were going to be watching.
I get that,
I'm
but
just saying.
they could have made it a little more clever. You know what I mean? Like the
What
only
was
clever,
unclever?
huh?
What was unclever?
Well, everything except for the parts involving where the dogs are like pretty much commentating on how they're dogs. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I thought it was hilarious.
I don't know. Anyway, well, we're not to you yet,
I'm
Karen.
just throwing that out there.
This is me and what
Yeah,
I've been
you
watching.
Go right and go nuts, man.
Also
Did you watch
watched
it?
The Last Voyage of the Demeter. You guys watched that?
No, I don't watch that yet.
Well, good. I can give it like my opinion on something nobody else has seen. I didn't care for it.
Oh yeah, I did.
I
watch
don't.
it. Why
I
do you
don't
mean
have
you
high
like
hopes
that?
for it.
I did though. Damn it!
I don't have. high
But
hopes.
getting into the movie, and I think one of the biggest things is all the CG fucking vampire stuff. Like, why is he CG? Just give me a skinny guy with some prosthetics on. Like, for real, man. Like, he was pretty much computer animated the whole movie, and I wasn't impressed. The lighting and shit, like the whole scene, like everything taking place on the boat was awesome. It was great. The actors did a good job. I think everything else about it was cool. It had a good aesthetic going for it, but it was just like, but whenever the vampire, like Dracula himself, was on screen, I wasn't scared. I wasn't intimidated. I didn't feel anything for it. Mostly because it was CG, and also because like he just wasn't scary in any way to me. It wasn't a good monster movie to me. I just wasn't impressed. Everybody else did a great job though. There was a couple things that kind of like surprised me. I was like, oh, this is gonna be your atypical this. Like, oh no, that didn't happen. Okay, cool. Good. Threw me for a loop.
I like that.
So, I like that. But other than that, I don't know. It's one of those things like, would you recommend? Probably not. It's one of those movies that's like, it would have been better off on streaming. Yeah.
I just don't see the point in it. I think it's a pointless movie.
I do too, but the guy who directed it did Troll Hunter and something else recently. I think he did Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I like that movie.
Yeah, that was cool because it had some pretty original ideas on some monsters and shit like that, but I don't know. Watch it if you want. It's not terrible. It's not worth your time. It's just one of the movies that you're going to be like, "Oh, yeah, it was a movie." And I don't think you'll quickly forget it. It's just one of them things that you're like, "I wasn't impressed. I was hoping for more." So, and we all know how it ends.
That's
It's like one chapter of the book.
Yeah,
So-
that's my point. I guess it's like it's like watching The Shining and then finding out they're gonna make a movie about the door scene where they're gonna break down the door. It's
Yeah.
just one little blip of the book or
Yeah.
one little blip.
And that's what this is.
It's
This
just-
is literally only one chapter of the book, and they just managed to stretch it out into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, I don't.
So I don't understand. Whatever. I mean, it made for a cool movie, I guess, but I wasn't fully impressed. It's not one I'll be.
It's
buying
literally they're
anytime
just
soon.
talking about how he survived getting across the ocean. Well, you know how he survived.
He ate everybody
He
on
had an
board.
entire smorgasbord of people.
He
to
started with
eat.
the rats, and he worked his way up to the fucking cattle and shit on board, and then they worked up to the humans.
Yeah,
Even though really he should have saved the cattle because they had more blood in them.
I mean,
more
I
sense.
guess that.
And they put up less of a fight.
I guess the door scene's a bad example, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, anyway, that's what I watched. Oh, and I finished off Invincible, the show on Amazon.
Mhm.
It's a pretty good show. I liked it. It was good. Watched a couple more episodes of Supernatural. I'm slowly getting through season 11. Slowly.
You're getting there.
Yeah. But other than that, Madison, what did you watch?
I watched The Walking Dead and Strays. No, I watched The Walking Dead, Strays, and you're not even gonna believe it. You're not even gonna believe it, Karen. I'm telling you because I know you listen to me. Guess what?
What?
The new episode, the first episode of Daryl Dixon came out.
Yesterday.
And how did you feel about it?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Daryl Dixon. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. Like, there were killer nuns. Like, there were a bunch of nuns, and they killed a bunch of people.
Did they have nunchucks?
No. They had a bunch of really
That would've
old
made it better.
weapons, though, like from the medieval like times. They had a bunch of those.
I just don't
weapons.
see how a movie or a show about Daryl Dixon is going to carry itself.
I do. I love Norman.
He's
Reedus
terrible
so
with
much.
dialogue. He's not a charismatic person. He's just that brooding, silent type that people like. But a person like that,
he's a good side.
yeah, he's a good
guy.
side character. He's not a good front man. That's
But
what I don't
after-
understand.
you don't understand because you didn't finish the show. Cause
I understand because I watched it from fucking season 1 all the way up until like season 9.
but after Rick leaves, he takes charge because no one else can.
And that's why I can't get through the last couple seasons.
You haven't even tried. You got like 7 episodes in. You even tried the last season. You don't even know what happened.
She's getting very defensive.
Have you ever seen the scene in Magnum PI? It was going around Facebook for a while, but he goes up to like a nunnery or something, and this nun is like waxing a window or something, and she's like, good morning. And he's like, good morning. And he's like, wait, nuns don't work on Sunday. And
Yeah.
he turns around and shoots her.
I did see that.
Hilarious.
So just so you're aware, most of the cast, like that voices people in Invincible, are all from The Walking Dead, because the show was
I
created by
remember reading about that.
Robert Kirkman. Like the main character's the main character Invincible is voiced by Steven Yeun.
Okay, but like, does Norman Reedus voice anyone in it?
I don't know. I don't know if he does or not. I know Lauren Cohan does. A bunch of people from the show do. The guy who plays Abraham. Huh?
She's so hot.
Yeah, she's-
Michonne and Maggie.
Okay, anyway, what else did you watch?
That's it.
Karen?
I watched Strays. I thought it was funny.
Thought it was funny too.
So we all watched Strays.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything wrong with it. That's just me. Evil Lives Here. The First Wives Club. Jeremiah had never seen it. I think it's funny. The Blackening. I showed it to April.
What'd she say?
Hilarious. She loved it.
Did she?
And then we watched Overlord yesterday. Any of you guys ever seen that?
Oh, yeah, I own it.
Love that.
I fucking love
It was
that movie.
good. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got.
Oh, did you know that Kurt Russell's doing they're coming out with a new, like a series on Apple?
Yep. And he's gonna play. Wyatt's playing the
The
younger version.
the younger version of
of-
Kurt Russell.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's funny because you watch like these movies with Wyatt, and you're like, "Hi, Kurt," like every now and
Yeah.
again.
Eric?
Oh. So I watched Strays. I watched Indiana Jones. Strays was okay. It had its funny parts.
It had its
Yeah,
moments.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
had its moments. Indiana Jones, they better be done making them
I hope so.
because they're just.
If they do something new and don't bring back Harrison Ford.
No, he's
He's
too old
done.
for it.
And if you do, make him like a little side character. Give him a cameo, or
Yeah,
make him
They
the
should
like
have done what they've done with Ghostbusters,
Like
where
the
they've
mentor.
passed the torch.
pass
like,
the torch on. If you're gonna do that, do that. That's what they tried to do with Shia LaBeouf. Obviously, I see why they didn't because of all the shenanigans with him. But pass the torch on. I don't care if it's to a female or a male. I don't give a shit. Just pass it on.
yeah. Just make him like the mentor of the next movie.
Yeah, make him just don't put him in all these action scenes. Make it more surrounding somebody else.
He's the guy in the chair.
Yeah, he's the guy in the chair or whatever.
He's Alfred.
Yeah, right. Make a new Batman. Come on.
make a new Batman.
Another one.
Then I watched Mystery Men.
It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a very good
You
movie.
wouldn't like me when I'm mad.
And the Reno 911 movie.
That's a classic too. I don't care what it is. That movie's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
That part where The Rock drops a grenade and he
Yeah,
Fuck! I got 15 seconds with a fucking thing.
All right. Is that everybody? Is that everything?
Yeah.
Everything?
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Let's-
right, Eric. You get that time.
What? Oh, I will.
Let's talk about the movie.
Let's get into this movie here. This week we watched the Monster Squad, people. Monster Squad. Do you have a synopsis on this?
I do. Hold on. I don't know
remember.
why I'm always surprised by that.
Oh,
I don't know why.
And I
you're-
have seen that.
I don't know why. Every time you're like, you have no. Oh yeah,
yeah,
I got it.
sorry.
I even have it pulled up.
Yeah.
You guys, I have seen this movie before. I was just like 6 whenever I first saw it.
Jack watched this with us.
Did he?
I
Yeah.
only remember like 2 scenes. From
You
it.
should have gotten his review on it.
Count Dracula adjourns to Earth, accompanied by Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, the Mummy, and the Gill Man. The Uglies are in search of a powerful amulet that will grant them power to rule the world. Our heroes, the Monster Squad, are the only ones daring to stand in their way. It's 1 hour and 22 minutes. Andre Gower plays Sean. Robbie Kiger plays Patrick. Stephen Mock plays Dell. And Duncan Rager plays Count Dracula. Tom Noonan is Frankenstein. And that's as far as I'm going.
What's it rated?
It is rated
PG-13.
PG-13.
All right. Let's go around the table here. Eric, would you watch and recommend?
I would recommend it, but I don't think I'll watch it again.
Okay. Karen?
Yes and yes.
Madison?
I'm gonna have to go with what Eric said.
I would recommend it.
It's a classic.
It's a
Gotta
classic,
recommend
but
it.
I'm
I've
not
seen
gonna
it
be.
a million
can't.
times.
I'm not gonna be
I can't
clamoring to watch
watch
it
it.
again anytime
No.
soon. It's one of the movies that this is the second time I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
I had seen it before in the past, and I stayed away from it. Actually,
I would say I've
Yeah.
seen this like every time it was on TV. every time,
The first time I watched
Like
it,
my parents,
it's got
I think,
some
taped
good.
it.
Yeah, it's got some good parts.
I watched it. I think we bought the VHS, and then we bought it.
So this is more nostalgia for you than anything.
Yeah, like, and
Yeah.
then I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm by far, but
First
I mean,
time-
It's
And
just
I'm not
lacking.
saying-
It's just lacking.
I'm not
in some
saying I would
areas.
watch. I watch it every year or anything,
Right.
But like, I've shown it to my kids. I watch it. I don't know, every now and again whenever I.
Right. I think that this movie has a bit of a cult following. Obviously, has a cult following.
Mhm.
I don't think it's a terrible movie by any means. I just think that it's got
It's
got
a kid
lot.
movie.
Yeah, it's got. Well, that's the thing though. It's aimed at kids, but it's rated PG-13. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you got kids on here cussing. If it's a kids movie, make it a kids movie. It's
But
not.
that's
It's not.
that's the thing is that like
I think
in
that's
the
why
era-
it failed.
in the era in which it was made. That's the Goonies.
Yeah,
but
I get
horror.
that. But The Goonies was also
Yeah.
rated PG, not PG-13.
It should have been PG-13 though.
Maybe, but they got a PG rating for a reason. They edited it just right.
It's 'cause
Like,
they paid people off.
well, either way, I mean,
I mean, they had them gluing a penis on a statue.
okay, but that was goofy. Though.
It was goofy, but I'm just saying.
I
you
didn't
know,
even understand that until I was like 10.
Yeah, but they're
That's what I'm
checking out.
saying.
They're
They're just
you're
cussing.
oogling a girl through her fucking
They're just
their window.
cussing and talking.
and staring at girls naked through a window.
Yeah, but you don't see anything.
Close
Yeah,
enough.
you
This
do.
is
You
like
see
the
bras.
B-rated.
Bras, man.
Oh, bras.
This-
Yeah.
You
All
saw
you
an
got
entire nut sack in the Goonies.
I didn't understand what
On
it
a
was. It was a
statue.
statue.
This
That
was
was
like
a whole human girl.
You saw an entire nut sack in the Goonies.
This
I
was
didn't know what that
the
was.
B-rated
I was only
version.
6.
B-rated horror version of the Goonies.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Literally,
I'm saying.
that's
I
what-
kind of
That's
get
exactly
that.
my
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
That's my
All right.
point.
So anyway, let's get into the story here. Let's get into the plot. Madison's gonna read the entire plot off. It's only 2 pages. It's not very
4.
long.
Yeah, well, it's not a long movie.
It is not 4.
Yaha 1, 2, 3, 4.
You got
It is 2 pages.
You got the
1,
curated
2, 3.
profile in there.
You got the
4.
creator profile. Stop being a smartass. And actually, it's only a page and a half. It's not very long, but we're gonna get into the
4
heavy,
and a
heavy
half.
spoilers of this movie. So if you haven't seen it, go watch the movie. Come back to us then, or don't. Doesn't matter. If you want to just listen to the movie through us, that's fine. All right, Madison.
I understand if you do
All right,
that.
Madison. I'm my own team.
You got it.
Good
Wow.
lord, just read this shit.
Wow.
Okay. You guys ready?
No, yeah.
He said no.
The monsters. Dad, you're ink, dude. Okay, the Monster Squad is a society of young preteens who idolize classic monsters and monster movies and hold their meetings in a tree clubhouse. Club leader Sean, who's Andre Gower, whose 5-year-old sister Phoebe, who's Ashley Bank, desperately wants to join the club, is given the diary of legendary vampire hunter Abraham Van Helsing, aka Jack Willem? Sure, okay. But his excitement is toned down when he finds it's written in German. Sean, his best friend Patrick, aka Robbie Kiger?
I said Kiger.
Kiger. And the rest of the Monster Squad get their local scary German guy, aka Leonardo Semino? Semino? Sorry.
Maybe we should have read it ourselves.
Actually a kind of person and a former Nazi Holocaust victim to translate the diary. Why did they make him a Holocaust victim?
Because that would have put him in Germany at that time.
Yeah.
It would have given. He was the right age for it.
Yeah, he'd have been the right age for it back in the 80s.
Oh. Okay. To translate the diary, when the group remarks about his extensive knowledge, the German guy replies that he has a lot of experience with monsters and as he closes the door on them, reveals the concentration camp number on his arm. The diary describes in great detail an amulet that is composed of concentrated good. One day out of every century, as the forces of good and evil reach a balance, the otherwise indestructible amulet becomes vulnerable to destruction, and the next day a balance falls within a couple days at the stroke of midnight. Once the kids realize they must gain possession of the amulet before the day of balance arrives. Once they have the amulet, the kids can use it with an incantation from Van Helsing's diary to open a hole in the universe and cast the monsters into limbo. What's limbo?
Basically,
It's pretty much between the living and the dead.
yeah.
And it's a Catholic.
They sent Frankenstein there?
It's a Catholic belief that people go there that can't go to heaven or hell because they either haven't
Unborn children.
like unborn people or people that haven't decided that they believe in God, or like it's just a place where people go that can't go to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
Well, that's rude.
That's where I'll go.
Purgatory.
Yeah, that's basically what
It's
it is.
purgatory.
That's where I'll go.
If
Here
you're
it's
going
nice.
there, then I'm going there.
You hear it's nice.
Yeah. Haven't you seen it in Supernatural? I mean, it's just like gray and looks like Earth.
Seems alright.
That's what I said. I hear it's nice.
Peaceful.
Food doesn't taste like anything, though.
Yeah, right.
So-
But who needs to eat in limbo?
As shown in the
What,
prelude,
what am I
You
gonna
still
do?
get
Die
hungry.
Van
again?
Helsing had unsuccessfully attempted this 100 years ago in order to defeat his old adversary, Count Dracula. His apprentices. Can you say that word?
Apprentices.
Apprentices?
Apprentices, like that.
Yes.
Okay. Apprentices subsequently hid the amulet in
I
America,
feel like she still
where
fucked
it
it
was.
up.
Where it was out of
Done fucked up, A.
Dracula's immediate reach. Dracula, meanwhile, seeks to obtain the amulet before the Monster Squad does, so that Count can take control of the world. To this end, he assembles several monstrous allies: Frankenstein's monster, a werewolf, a mummy, and an amphibious gillman, and it's a sea monster.
Well, he's supposed to be like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
But they can't
Copyright.
say that.
Yeah, copyright stuff.
Gotcha.
Apparently they had the rights to Frankenstein.
No, they didn't. They haven't rights to any of them. That's why they all look slightly different.
That's why Dracula looks like he got his costume from fucking Spirit Halloween.
Well, they all kind of did back in the 30s and 40s. The only difference is they
Wait,
were black and white.
what
so you
year
couldn't
was this
tell.
movie?
True. Yeah.
What-
87.
Yeah.
87.
I mean, I would say that the more pointed one that you can tell is like Frankenstein. His bolts aren't on his neck; they're
They're
up
on his
here.
head, yeah.
There's slight differences between all of them, and
I think some of the makeup effects in here are alright. Like with
in the movie,
Frankenstein,
they're on his head.
But like then there's like the
in this movie,
Wolfman.
they're on his head.
But
In
like the
original,
Wolfman's face,
they're on his
dude,
neck.
looks retarded as shit.
Yeah. The Mummy was like.
Yeah.
I think
That
the
was
Mummy
based-
was like the best one. Like
No, I think
think Frankenstein was
looked
good.
the
Picture
best.
the Black Lagoon
the-
and Mummy were like
The Mummy was an
best.
Black Lagoon
homage.
wasn't
The
bad.
Mummy was or not the Mummy, but the Wolfman was an homage. That's why his face looked the way it did. And I don't remember who though. But it was I think it might have been one of the original creators of the
What is-
Wolfman or something.
Oh.
There was a
Homage
reason that
mean?
his face looked that way.
It was like a homage means like a dedication to, essentially.
It was one of
Like
the
an
original
inspiration, essentially.
It was an original creator
yeah.
to the original Wolfman makeup or something like that. There was a reason for it.
Oh, okay. In addition to 3 schoolgirls, Mary Albee, Joan Carol Barron, and Julie Merrill, whom the Count transforms into his vampiric, I don't know, vampiric consorts. I feel like I still said that wrong. The next day, Frankenstein's monster is wandering in the forest where he encounters Phoebe. Rather than being afraid, she shows him the kindness he also sought.
She's the only one that had any balls out of all of them.
For
She
real.
did, man.
Don't
Wait, hold
be
on.
chicken shit.
Yeah, that's what she said too. Don't be a chicken shit.
And he
Hold on, I
did-
had a thing for it. I can't remember where it is though.
Yeah, Phoebe, you going? Don't be.
Oh
chicken
yeah, there it
shit.
is.
Bitch is hardcore.
Yeah.
It's just hardcore.
and he
Sorry, I don't know where all the
fucking
things are
eight,
yet.
fucking 8-foot tall dude comes walking up, and she's like, "Oh hey." They're all running for the hills.
and he gets acquainted with and becomes a member of the Monster Squad. The amulet turns out to be buried. Hello, buried.
Bird.
Murray the Burry.
The amulet turns out to be buried in a stone room under a house that Dracula and the other monsters now occupy, and where Van Helsing's diary was found. The secret room is littered with wards, which prevents the monsters from simply taking it. The monster
Okay, because they didn't explain that.
What's up?
That the thing was surrounded by wards.
They did.
I guess that would explain the crosses that I
The
saw.
crosses, the garlic.
No, they did. He said that if Dracula said that Van Helsing's the ones that escaped the original attack or whatever fled and brought all of the amulet and the diary and everything there to try and hide it from him.
If Dracula didn't occupy that residence before, then how do you know where the secret passage was?
There's always a secret passage. That's how Sean knew it was there.
No, she's saying
Have you ever
like,
seen the Hardy Boys?
how did
Yeah.
she know that like the amulet was behind that wall?
He felt it.
Oh, that's right. He was, yeah. That
So
little-
What I want to know,
Kids
though, like,
ultimately fucked up by taking the amulet out of that room.
yeah.
right? Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
They
yeah.
would have just left it alone. He wouldn't have been able.
Yeah, they could have. They could have stood in there and said the incantation,
And
and it would have opened up the whole thing, and they would have just been pulled in from that room.
What you gonna do now, huh?
What you gonna do now?
As Penny would say.
Well-
nah, boo boo.
Well, technically, though, he could have sent the Wolfman in there. He could have sent, because that's why he had the other ones, because he couldn't go in there. But he could have sent the
And
Mummy
why
and
didn't
the
he?
Wolfman. Well, because they got the amulet before he did.
They had the hole.
They had
That's
a
what-
hole in the wall
Yeah,
for
the
like
hole in
ever.
The wall was,
No,
already there.
the dynamite happened when they got there. Remember, the dynamite slid down, and that's why Frankenstein.
No, he took
got,
a hammer to the wall.
Yeah, just that little hole, and then he put the dynamite in there, and then the kids came, and then it slid down and blew the big hole, and that's when the whole thing broke loose because Frankenstein got caught in the door.
Right.
Yeah, he would have sent.
Wolfman's got nards.
Yeah, he
It's like the
yeah
only famous
He
line
Wolfman
from
Wolfman
it.
doesn't have nards. Wolfman's got nards.
yeah he would have sent one of the other ones in there to get it.
Right. I don't know. The only good one-liners in this movie are from the kid, the older one. What's his name?
Rory.
No.
The
Rudy?
cool kid.
Yeah,
Rudy.
the cool kid.
What did he?
The guy with the slick back hair and the leather jacket.
Yeah, Rudy.
Rudy.
Yeah. What about
Yeah,
him?
the coolest. I'll say my favorite. Oh, we haven't gotten there yet, but my
The
favorite.
only good line is Wolfman's got nards.
No. The best line in this whole movie is, "What are you gonna do?" He's like, "I'm in the damn club, ain't I?"
Oh yeah, that one's a good one.
So,
yeah.
and then he
That one's
goes up
good.
and he shoots that. What did he shoot?
The-
Oh, he shot
vampires.
one of the vampires with a cross.
I
with a bow and
actually
arrow.
think
He's like, "I'm in the damn club, ain't I?"
one of the best scenes with Rudy is where because it kind of points back to a scene earlier in the movie when they're like
Yeah.
tell me two things that you kill a werewolf with. And he's like, silver bullet. And they're like,
I guess you
and
could blow it up.
and he's like, well, what else? And he's like, silver bullet. And they're like, and he, nobody else can think of another way. And they're like, oh, maybe you blow it up. But later on, he he's like, told you there's only one way. But you can see that he's literally like,
The most knowledgeable one of
but
them all.
no, he's literally like really kind of sad. Like he looks like he's ready to cry because that guy got up and he's like, thank you. And he's like,
For proving me right.
no, like he gets up and he says, thank you for killing me.
Oh, yeah.
Like he shoots the
Yeah.
guy and he says, thank you. And then Rudy turns around and he looks like he's getting ready to cry. And he goes, I told you there's only one way to kill a werewolf. I thought that was like the best acting in the whole movie.
Yeah, I think that kid was awesome. He's probably the best one in the whole movie, honestly. He's probably my...
Oh, he's the oldest too.
He's the
so
oldest.
that
He was
makes
probably my
sense.
favorite
Well,
character.
and Phoebe was amazing.
That's it.
Yeah.
Was acting.
She was pretty
Actor,
good.
I really thought was good in the whole movie was Phoebe. That was
Because she was
Rudy
so
was
young.
really good, especially that part. That part when
Did
he turns
Phoebe
around
remind
and
you of
says,
Penny?
yes and no.
It's funny because this is the
Oh,
second movie
Kind of.
in a row that we've had that kid who was the bully. He was
Oh.
also in Back to the Future
Yeah. as
Lorraine's younger brother.
yeah, Jason Hervey.
Yeah. He was also in
Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
He was in everything back in the day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he always played some
He
asshole
always
kid.
played an asshole kid. Yeah, no, that to me is like the best acting in this movie when he turns around and says that and he looks like he's ready to cry.
I didn't like that part where they're like, hey, fat kid. And he's like, my name's
Horace.
Horace. And I'm like, okay, that was dumb.
It's over the top.
Yeah, a little over the top.
Again,
bud.
it's a kid's movie.
Yeah. Rated PG-13.
Gremlins.
That's not a kid's
Yeah, but
movie.
Gremlins had
It's
had
aimed at
better
kids.
acting in it though.
And
Gremlins
yeah,
2 especially.
and
Oh,
Gremlins
yeah,
was
come on.
like, I don't know. That was one of the movies that like anybody can watch. It wasn't specifically geared towards kids.
Sure. But I'm just saying, like, there's all kinds of kids' movies, like, especially back then, that should have been PG-13. They just didn't have it yet. Except for The Goonies, that should have been PG-13.
I disagree. I think that this movie should have been just rated PG.
I agree. I don't
Mhm.
understand
Because
why
there's
it was
nothing bad about
PG-13.
this fucking movie.
Other than the fact that it's, like, horror-based. And it seems like that's
not
what,
even. It's barely even that though. Like,
Well, that's why why Gremlins got the PG-13.
well,
was because
Gremlins was scarier than this.
I don't
understand
disagree.
Why'd they make Ruby like a smoker like right off the get go?
Maybe that's why a kid was
I don't-
smoking.
I don't get
in,
But
why
no,
the
back then they
80s,
didn't
give
care.
a
I don't
shit,
know.
Like
Yeah, but he was like what, 13, 12?
13
He
or
was
something.
in-
yeah.
he-
Mom
Wasn't he
started
in
smoking when
eighth
she was
grade?
like 12.
Yeah, well,
He
I
was
was smoking
eighth
at
grade. He would
12.
have been 14.
Huh?
He would have been 14 if he was in 8th grade.
Or whatever.
well, I'm just saying like they made the cool kid smoking right off
Well,
the get go.
I mean-
Like
It was a thing back then. I don't know.
Yeah, the 80s didn't give a shit about smoking.
No.
Anyway, continue.
The secret room is littered with wards which prevent the monsters from simply taking it. The monster squad finds and removes the amulet and escape Dracula's grasp only with sheer luck and a talent for improvisation.
Improvisation.
Like using a garlic pizza to burn the vampires.
Which I didn't understand that either.
Where did they
It's a
get
stretch.
the pizza
Who
from?
puts garlic on their fucking pizza, and why did he have it in his pocket?
Because he's a fat kid.
hey, pocket pizza. You see the
Yeah.
He
sweater?
had like half a slice of pizza and some aluminum foil, and it just happened to be in his pocket, and it happened to have
Hey,
garlic.
haven't
on
you
it.
seen the hoodies that have the little pizza pocket?
Oh yeah, yeah, they have those.
They
That's
do?
the '80s
Yeah,
version
oh,
of the pizza
literally,
pocket.
they have hoodies that have a spot in their hoodie that you can put a piece of pizza in
Yeah.
and keep it warm.
Why?
That's the '80s version of the pizza pocket.
Yeah.
So why?
I seen that shit. I'm like, why? Like, you imagine trying to clean it?
Could you imagine having that today? Like picking up like a sweatshirt at JCPenney, you're like, what is it? It's a pocket for a slice of pizza. What?
This is like no. These are hoodies like came out like.
That's
past
like
couple
making
years.
like you remember those? What are they call those? Fanny packs? Like a fanny pack, you can put a piece of lasagna in. it.
No,
Yeah.
no, I got one better. You remember like MREs, like in
Yeah,
the military, a fanny pack with an MRE in it. You know, like warms
That
up
makes
everything.
sense though.
Yeah.
A fanny pack full of food.
I'm just saying a fanny pack with like some lasagna or something, you know,
That's ridiculous.
or like a fucking baked potato, with some
Pocket full
corn.
of taters.
Not baked potato.
Tater
Baked
tot
potatoes.
pocket
Dude, you
corn.
got a cheese
Yeah.
pocket you can sprinkle on.
Yeah, it's even got a
Napoleon-
grater on the side.
Napoleon Dynamite, where he had a pocket full of tater tots.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me
No,
wrong. Whenever me
no.
and Randy worked at Wendy's, Randy would stuff his pockets full of chicken nuggets. He was always high. So, but he would like, dude, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, they're just going to throw them away anyway. Because it was at the end of the night, so he'd stuff his pockets with chicken. Like, why don't you get a bag, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Shit. At least put
He
the
was
bag in
high
your pocket so
all
that
the
it's not
time.
touching
He
your
was-
pocket.
Randy was always high, so it's just like
Dude,
one of
that's
those things.
hilarious. It's like that scene in The Hangover when they're looking for their buddy and he like looks under the couch cushion and he's like, "Did you just eat couch pizza?"
Yeah,
No.
Now you got hoodie pizza.
Yeah.
it's gross.
Sorry.
The German guy informs them that the incantation must be read by a female virgin. As midnight approaches, the squad makes their way to a
Why have to be
local
a female,
cathedral
though?
to make their last
that.
stand. And in the nick of time, as shortly after they leave, Dracula destroys their clubhouse with a stick of dynamite. Where did all the dynamite
This-
come
I
from?
wrote that down too. I said
Dracula
Dracula had a
loves-
shit ton of
Dude,
dynamite.
Dracula
Yeah.
loves dynamite, and they didn't even have like they. You think they would have used anything else, like maybe grenades or anything? But no, just dynamite.
Well,
Let's
and
just
how,
light some
like, how
fucking
did he
dynamite.
know where Sean lived?
I didn't understand that either.
I mean, he had his phone number because he called earlier, Dr. Alucard, and he wanted the Van Halen diary. So he had his phone number and his address. Like, he had his whole life story.
Yeah, barely
Before he
even
even
the
knew
kid.
who he was.
Before he even knew
Yeah.
his name. Yeah,
They didn't give any background on that at all.
he did too. He just walked out in his backyard and hucked a bundle of TNT into his goddamn treehouse and blew that bitch up. I was like, Jesus Christ.
No fucks.
Yeah, no fucks given. He walks out front, throws another grenade. He just straight up blows up that dude. Okay, so I love the sheriff or the cop dude's
The
partner.
banter between them.
Yeah,
two,
no, he was
that-
awesome. He was
yeah.
he was just a straight up smartass.
Dude,
all
he
the
was
time.
hilarious.
And then
I
he
fucking
died.
love
I'm like,
that guy.
why would you kill
I
him
know, he
off?
was
They
great.
blew him up. I was like,
Yeah, they just blew his
I
ass
I
up.
love the part in the museum when he's like, "Did you take it?" No.
Dang. He was a smart. I loved it. Dang.
Man.
Oh, we could have had this case closed.
You put an APB for Elf on that hearse? Yeah, I'm a good cop.
Yeah.
He probably. Okay, I take that back. He was probably the best character, and then they killed him off like.
Well, it was almost the end of the movie. They
Almost,
yeah,
I guess,
almost,
yeah.
I do want that hearse, though.
Drive through.
I do want that hearse.
This also calls up another helper for the Monster Squad, Sean's father, police detective Dell, who has been charged to investigate the strange happenings in the town of late, as caused by Dracula's cohorts.
And how much help was he really? The cop, like the dad. He really wasn't that much help.
Well,
Most he did was blow
he
up
saved the
Wolfman.
kid from Dracula and the Wolfman, technically. So there's that. Because he shot the Dracula out of the air while he was a bat, which I didn't.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like I was gonna ask about that. So he shot him out of the air, and he went through the window.
Yeah, why did he only half?
Why? Yeah,
reform?
why did he only half reform? Because I mean, like, it's not gonna hurt him to be shot or to go through a window. Is it because?
He was so
the only-
small.
Well, the only thing I can figure is like one, he was so small.
Yeah,
2, it happened in such a short period of time. He didn't have much time to like.
maybe it fucked him up a little bit.
Yeah, it fucked him
being
up just
so
enough
small and
to,
getting hit by a bullet.
Yeah, and then to go through a window at the same time, getting, you know what I mean, like too much in too short a time.
Right.
While
Well,
he's in
fucked
that
up here.
vulnerable
Yeah, state or
state.
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
maybe that's the only thing I could get from it. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's where I was coming
I'm
from.
not
with it.
a scientist or Dracula scientist, so I don't really
Maybe
know.
we should be.
Yeah, maybe we should be.
Like
Is
that-
there a college
that
degree
scene
for that?
Ted.
There
Huh?
should be.
Mythology.
Yeah,
From Ted,
mythology.
"Well, fucked up. Here you go,
I'm a
take
little
care."
fucked up.
So there's that, and then but whenever they blew up the Wolfman, it was one of those. It was very surprising
Yeah.
because like he straight shoved it in his pants and shoved him out the window, and boom, he blew into a million pieces. Like damn,
hmm
like he fucked him up.
Yeah, he did. Fucked
Then he
his
like
shit
started
right
crawling
up.
back together. Like hold on a minute now. I've never seen any Wolfman not die from something that extreme. Like
No.
that's a little.
But that's
This
the
is
point.
why-
That's the point. It's going by the rules of the original.
I get it. Yeah,
You know,
I
Like,
get
died
why.
by
Yeah.
the silver bullet.
Yeah.
But still, though, I've
It's only one
You
way
put
to
a
go.
fucking Wolfman through a grinder, he's not coming back from that, you know.
I kind of like the fact that they stuck with the original.
I
rule.
get,
You know what
I
I mean?
get
Like,
why
like
they stuck
that.
with it. It makes sense because
Yeah.
they're supposed to be mythical creatures that can only die by what myth says they can die by.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that I like that they stuck with that because sometimes I felt like that was refreshing because sometimes you watch these movies nowadays and they come up with all these crazy different ways of this happening and that happening and
Okay,
sometimes
like,
it gets a little.
I get what you're saying because,
over
like,
the
in the
top.
case of the Wolfman, it would have been like, oh, you got to use the silver bullet. Well, we only got one. Okay, bam, he misses. Shit, what do we do now? Let's blow him up. And they blow him up, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So,
Yeah.
in this case, they're trying to stick to, well, you can't blow him up.
It's
You
just-
actually do need a silver bullet to kill this guy.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing to see like that they have to stick to rules. They can't just.
Who wants to
plot
stick
their
up
way
with
out of
rules,
it.
though?
It's refreshing in these kind of movies when you're a horror fan. It's nice to see.
She said it's ecstasy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
But has been quite skeptical about their supernatural causes, not to mention Sean's hobby in the first place. Dell is further puzzled when he is getting warnings from the werewolf that his family is in danger, as the werewolf is actually a reluctant pawn of Dracula in its human form and is actually begging the police to put him in a maximum security prison. But he is dismissed as a loony. Unfortunately, the doors to the cathedral are locked, so the incantation must be read on the stoop, leaving the squad vulnerable. The Monster Squad has the assistance of Sean's father and Patrick's older sister, Lisa Fuller, as she's the only virgin they know who speaks German. Unfortunately, with time winding down, the incantation fails since Lisa is actually not a virgin anymore, as Dracula's brides and the
He
other...
doesn't count.
Yeah.
As the other monsters close in, it is realized that Phoebe, being 5, must still be a virgin.
I like how that one girl's taking German in high school and sucks at like pronunciation.
Yeah.
She's like V instead of they or whatever, and like Phoebe's listening to the scary German guy and like just literally like slaying it.
I love that she's like, so Phoebe's like, they're like, is she a virgin?
Yeah,
Of course she's a fucking virgin. She's 5.
Well, Eugene's asking the question. Eugene doesn't even know what a virgin is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it, but it's just weird.
It was just.
It's weird referring to a 5-year-old as a virgin.
I just think it's cute when he turns around. And he's like, "Is she a virgin?"
A virgin.
And the German guy attempts to help her read the incantation as the rest of the squad fends off the monsters. In the ensuing battle, the vampiresses, the mummy, the gillman, and the wolfman are killed. Dracula arrives and is about to kill Phoebe when the Frankenstein creature betrays him, impaling him on a wrought iron fence. Phoebe finishes the incantation, opening the portal which began to consume the bodies of the monsters. Dracula, still alive, attempts to drag Sean in with him, but Sean is saved at the last minute by stabbing Dracula with a wooden stake and Van Helsing, who briefly escaped from limbo to take Dracula to his doom.
See, I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either.
Mm.
If he can get out during that time period,
Can't Dracula get
I
out
guess
next
Dracula
time?
can just get out too, right? Like,
No, it won't open again.
I mean, I'm saying, like, if the incantation is read again,
It won't get read again because the whole point of it is to bring the monsters in. Once they're in, it's closed forever.
but okay, but
But it
how
was
did Van
open
Helsing
before.
get out?
What do you mean?
Well, during the incantation, whenever the portal opened,
Yeah, the
Van Helsing got
incantation-
out.
The incantation is only read to bring the monsters in. Once they're in, there's no need for it anymore. The amulet is gone. Remember, it goes and everything's gone. There's no amulet anymore.
Well,
There's no need for the incantation. They're not going to do it another 100 years because there's no more monsters.
Why would the Van
They all
Helsing
got sucked
stay
in.
So
there?
this is where I'm going to ask a question. So the first time they read it, wasn't the amulet got destroyed the first time too? Because
No, because they still needed it. The monsters were still on Earth.
Why would it?
They still
Why-
needed it.
They didn't know they still needed it.
Yes, they do. The amulet still needs to be on Earth because the monsters are still on Earth. So the amulet has to stay until the monsters are destroyed. That's the entire point of the amulet. So once the monsters were destroyed and pulled into limbo, the amulet was gone. No more incantation, no more need. Amulet's gone.
So does so if the monsters stayed there, the amulet would just reappear?
Yeah. That's why it can't be destroyed.
That's
It
where
would-
I was getting confused
yeah,
at because
the amulet will fall to the ground.
The first time the
Yeah.
amulet got during an incantation, it didn't get thrown up and get put into the
No.
portal. But this time, the amulet got thrown up and got put into the portal before the monsters were gone.
Right.
So does the amulet just suck in monsters? Why couldn't
Yeah,
Van
it's,
Helsing
it's,
just?
it's concentrated good. So what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to be used as a weapon.
So all
For-
those cops that
to
got
get-
sucked
Yeah, I
in.
was saying, what about the cops, Van Helsing, even Frankenstein's monsters? Not
They
evil.
were
I,
all
I don't
monsters?
disagree. Well, he's still a monster. It's kind of like the whole, Terminator 2, where he's got to be destroyed too because the computer is just, can be
spoiler
used
alert.
against,
Yes.
I've never seen it.
can be used against, you know what I'm saying? So like that.
Yeah, but
whole
still,
thing.
the fact of the cops and Van Helsing and all of them.
Oh,
getting sucked
I'm
in,
not.
that's
I'm not disputing that
there's-
fact.
There's some
There's a
continuity
continuity,
issues
yeah,
here.
I'm not disputing that fact. All I'm telling you is that
just like
if
the-
you-
the whole
if you
amulet
listen to what
order,
they're talking
I
about-
still don't.
if
go
you're
with the
listening to what they
amulet
talk
thing.
about, it makes sense. Because if they said it was a weapon to destroy evil and all the evil is gone, the weapon is no longer needed. They're not going to do that incantation again because it doesn't have to be done.
So they didn't leave there any room open for any kind of sequel.
No.
They fucked themselves.
Well, I mean, they could.
No more evil on Earth. Oh no, you lied.
Well, you know how it is. Whenever they see like a money grab, they'll do something.
Maybe
Some
they're
kind of
trying to
con-
figure out a way in Limbo to use that amulet to come back.
I've read on the internet that they're supposed to be remaking this movie, so
I read that too, but then I heard it got shot down.
maybe, I don't know. It's not on IMDb, so there's no confirmation.
No, I doubt it.
So we'll see.
Although Phoebe tries tearfully to hold on to him, Frankenstein's creature says he must leave and is at last to be sucked through the portal, but accepts a gift of a stuffed animal to remember Phoebe. The portal then closes, ensuring the world's safety.
That's it.
Yeah.
End of movie. See
End
you
of
next
show.
week.
Yeah,
No, I'm
bye.
just kidding.
Bye.
All right. So, and you want to go over your notes there, Karen?
Already did.
Oh, did you? I missed completely on that one.
I
So
only had two more, but I had a question like, why did he have to lock up Frankenstein?
right, if they're
'Cause
buddies,
he-
yeah,
Well, I could understand it if he was worried about him being loyal, because he wasn't.
right.
But he let him out to go and get the diary, so he didn't have any problem with him being loyal. Didn't get that.
I didn't get it either.
Even though he wasn't loyal.
And then, only other thing I had was like, I like the werewolf transformations just because it was like the less is more approach, and I really liked that.
I didn't like the creature going down so easy.
Oh, the Gill Man.
Yeah, he just got shot, and that was it. I was like, oh, that's
I think
it.
that was just supposed to be like Horace's moment, and I don't know. I feel like that was underutilized. He was such a cool creature to just.
Yeah, to just throw away like
he was
that.
beyond. He was like on screen for like 3 seconds total, and then he just got shot and went done.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you found my weakness. Shotgun blast to the chest.
yeah.
Like, what the
yeah. Yeah, it was.
It was like so dumb.
Yeah, it was pretty.
He just got shot, and that was it. I was
It
like,
was
wait,
such
that's
an-
it? He's like
such
the
an-
coolest monster.
Yeah, he's like anticlimactic for
Yeah.
such a cool monster. But
The
yeah.
the mummy just got unwrapped.
Yeah, he just got unwrapped.
Well, I mean that. Makes
but he
sense,
had like
though,
a
'cause
whole
he's
scene.
dust.
Like he had a whole scene dedicated to his.
I mean,
death.
right?
he's dust underneath, so that makes sense. But you'd think
that
if
they
you're a
made
mummy,
they made a thing out of it too. He didn't
Yeah,
just get shot. And
but
that
you
was
would
it.
think if you're a mummy and you know you're dust underneath and you feel that happening,
Just
you're gonna
let
let go. Like you're gonna be
Yeah,
like, okay,
just-
wait, no,
Hold
something
on,
bad's
hold
going
this
on.
ain't- Yeah,
You know, like
I just lost a foot. Okay, I've got.
I've got to preserve what I've got going on here, so I'm just gonna come back to you guys later. You know?
I don't know why you would put any trust in him anyway, knowing that he's just a decrepit, poorly wrapped mummy. You
Well,
know?
I mean, he's like
That can
3,000
barely
years
move.
old. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think the rap's
Well, you
gonna,
think that
you
maybe
know-
Drago, like maybe get you some new bandages put on there to hold you together a little better.
I don't know if you unwrap him, all the dust.
You don't
gonna
have
come
to
out
just
anyway.
wrap over the wrappings.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Use ceramic wrap. Or, yeah.
Yeah, see,
Are
we
we
got
trying?
new
Are we
wrapping.
trying to figure out like mummy science now too? 'Cause,
Yeah,
like I'm
I'm
yeah.
just telling you, we should become mythologists.
mythologists.
Is that a thing?
I think. Well, I mean, they got Egyptologists.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You
Well,
got
there you go. We can be an
You got people that
Egyptologist.
search for Sasquatch. So
Mythology.
That's true,
is
they-
Speaking of
what
which,
they
driving
do.
back home,
Mythologies.
driving through either Georgia or
You
Tennessee.
saw Sasquatch?
No, I saw like a big sign for a Sasquatch museum. I was like, oh,
Museum.
You
if I had
didn't
more
stop?
time.
You should have stopped.
Oh,
At
I
least.
would've, but I was
you
on
should
a
have stopped
time
and at
crunch,
least
man.
bought like one of them giant
I
footprint.
saw it off the
things.
side of the highway. I was like, aw.
It would have
I go
taken
in-
15
Just,
minutes.
just
Right.
run in, grab it, and leave. Don't
Yeah,
pay
just-
for it. Just
just-
grab and go.
Yeah,
You don't know where I'm from. Your
But-
plate says Ohio.
So
And
you think?
they're fake?
But yeah, I thought about it. I saw a big sign for it. I was like, oh well. Anyway,
It runs in there.
yeah, I don't really have
That's
too many.
funny,
I don't have any
Sasquatch
notes on this
statue.
movie because, well,
I'm the only one that liked it.
Hey,
it's not that I didn't like it.
you could have got a big Sasquatch statue and put him right behind you.
How was that girl in the beginning?
I don't think
Or,
so.
Like the guy's sister's supposed to read with an old man screaming in her ear, like screaming for her to read.
I hated her.
So did I, but like
Who, the
I
sister?
know if someone's gonna be screaming in my
Annoying
ear
as
while I'm
shit.
trying to read another language, I'm not gonna be able to read that language.
I don't know. The sister was pretty annoying. Like they made her out to be like this really like banging chick, and then you saw her like she's not attractive at all.
No.
Oh, and why was that mummy even like in the boys' closet in the first place?
I didn't get that either.
Just
Why-
because that scene's hilarious.
I
don't
get
know.
why it's funny, but like, why was he there?
I don't know, just because the scene's funny and you throw it in there. I don't know. It's funny because it's like that, kid. There's monsters in the kid's bedroom. Parents don't believe him. You know what I mean? That's
I get
all.
why it's there. I get
Yeah,
that, but
that's
I
it.
I didn't understand why he was in the closet to begin with. Like
That's it.
he's there with
The
all
dad
the other
opens the
monster
door.
friends. Next thing you know, he's in this kid's closet. He doesn't kill anybody or do anything. He just
The
wants
dad
to-
opens the door and doesn't look.
That
but
kid,
you
that
get to
kid.
see it.
That kid's literally gonna be the next kid for like Doctor Sleep. Like,
Yeah. Also, so why did the kid write? So he wrote the army, right? in crayon.
Dear Army guys.
Dear Army guys, we need your help. There are monsters.
And then the army
Sincerely,
shows
whoever.
up.
And then they show up. I'm like, really?
You guys can't even suspend your disbelief for like 2
Not for
seconds.
that,
No.
man. Not for that. Come on, Karen. Come on, man.
It's a kids movie.
Rated PG-13. Karen's like, fuck you guys. Anyway, is that all
You
we
don't know any kids movies that are PG-13. I'm gonna look up some PG-13 movies and start rattling them off. See
Kids
if we can
movies like geared towards like 9 and 10-year-olds? No, I don't. Like, no. Like the
That's-
Goonies is barely even for kids.
Oh, but earlier you said it was so good. Oh,
It is
wait.
good, but it's not for kids.
Anyways, that's all my notes.
She's looking like, hold on, I got some PG-13 movies right here for kids.
That can't be
There are no such thing as PG-13 for kids.
No, because
they are PG-13.
if they were for kids, they wouldn't be PG-13.
They'd be PG.
Yeah. Or G.
G movies are like boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like about nature.
That's why kids don't like G
Yeah.
movies.
I know. I remember in kindergarten, or maybe it
A
was
lot of
first
kids
grade.
don't like PG movies either.
Either kindergarten and first grade. She was like, "If you guys have a movie that you want to bring in, you can bring it in as long as it's a G movie." And I was like, "Can I bring in the Minions movie?" She was like,
How about Little
"Is it
Monsters?
G?"
Is that
I was like, "I'm
PG-13?
pretty sure it's PG." And she was
That's
like,
not a kid's
"No."
movie either.
Why isn't it?
Movies.
Because it's not a kid's movie. It's a teenager. It's for teenagers. It's a coming-of-age movie.
The Minions?
No,
No,
Little Monsters.
Oh.
Dude, how old were those kids in that movie? Like 10?
Fred Savage was a teenager. He was like probably 12 or 13.
That's why he didn't believe in monsters anymore.
Yeah. It's a coming-of-age movie. It's about growing up and
I don't know. I viewed it as a
knowing that
kids
there are certain
movie.
responsibilities in life that, you know what I mean? That's the whole premise of the movie is that he has to grow up and make the right
Brian
decisions.
Stevenson, an 11-year-old boy and his family, has just moved to suburban Boston and he feels isolated in his new neighborhood. His brother is 6.
What's the movie?
His brother is 6, but he's
He's
not the
11.
main character. The main character is Fred Savage.
He's 11.
He's 11. It's still a coming-of-age movie, like about a teenage boy.
He's not a teenage boy. He's
He might as
11.
well be a teenage boy.
I said 10. I was off by a year. You were off by...
It's still
you were
it's still
so
not a
off.
kid's movie. It's not like the Minions. You know what I mean? It's not a kid's movie. That's what I'm saying. Like they're not kids movies.
That's like a tween.
like I
movie.
said, The Goonies shouldn't even be a kids movie. It should be a PG-13 movie. Like they're not kids movies. And they're not geared towards 7, 8, and 9-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like they're for teenagers essentially. Just like this movie, it's geared towards teenagers.
You're right. Little Monsters is not a kid's movie. It's rated PG.
but it's still not a kids movie in my opinion. It's not a kids movie in my opinion.
Yeah,
They
in your
cuss,
opinion, so this PG-13
There's sexual
movie,
innuendos.
in this PG-13
Monster even
movie,
tells
in
me he
my
has a
opinion,
nice
is a
ass.
kids movie.
I'm just saying.
In
I
my
disagree.
opinion, this PG-13 movie is a kids movie. We can disagree, but I'm just saying, if you can say a PG movie in your opinion is not a kids movie,
Okay,
I can say a
Karen.
PG-13
Okay,
movie,
Karen. We will
in my opinion, is a kids movie.
Okay, I will let you have your opinion,
you can
even if it's
concede
wrong.
that, correct?
Even if it's wrong.
You can concede that, correct?
Would you?
Yeah. If I say something is in my opinion one way, and then you
Is
prove
this
to
how
me,
politics started?
Yes.
and then you prove to me that something in your opinion is another way, and it's the same thing.
She's definitely a Democrat.
You done fucked up.
I'm just, dude. Don't kill me. I'm just kidding.
She's gonna find your shotgun, dude. Shut up.
I don't need his.
What
shotgun.
would she have done if I called her a liberal? She's giving that look of death. Oh my god. Anyway, I think we need to move on, guys. If I'm not here next week, you know why.
Don't worry. Might be missing some appendages though.
You're missing 4 fingers and a couple fingernails.
You won't be talking right.
Say I'm right.
Anyway, I think we need to move on here. Kids movie or not, either way, it's PG-13.
Kids movie.
All right. Anyway, let's move on. You guys exhaust me.
I didn't
'Cause
do it.
I'm
You
right.
did it to yourself.
I knew I should have had an all-guy podcast.
Oh.
It's
Karen's
not too
like,
late.
"Fuck you."
It's not too late.
She's like, "I'll quit this bitch."
I don't get paid.
It's not too late.
You're not supposed
You
to.
can
you're,
do whatever
You're
you
supposed
want.
to be offended, dude. Like, oh, you can't kick me off.
You can do
You
whatever
can't
you want.
offend her.
You can't.
You gotta learn that. You cannot.
Whatever. Anyway, let's move on. Karen, you're not
At the
quitting.
end of the day, she'll
You're
she-
not
she-
quitting.
she will
I
look
didn't
at
say I was gonna quit. You were gonna fire me.
I can't
That's
fire
what you
you.
just said.
I can't fire you from something I don't pay you for.
Oh, well, it's in your house. You could not let me in.
You could not let me in.
This has been No Karen's Club.
No, Karen.
Right, you're gonna start sounding like a little rascal.
The He-Man Woman
He-Man
Haters
Woman
Creator
Hater
Club.
What about Madison? She's a Karen. I said no Karens. We're allowed to have one.
That's fucked up.
Screw you.
You hear that?
I heard that.
Anyway, what was I doing?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, we need to do this the reviews on this shit. All right, let's review this goddamn movie.
Let's review this bitch.
Fuck. Hold on.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. Fuck your own face!
Fuck your own face.
Shut up!
Nope, no more.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, Keisha.
You're gonna be fighting over the bones.
Well, Lottie
Damn.
frickin' da!
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
That's how Karen's feeling.
Are you happy? Or are you gonna fuck me up?
I'm not
happy.
worried.
I'm
I
always
proved my
happy.
point.
All right. Anyway, let's get into reviews. Let's start with Karen. Karen,
Okay.
what do you
Start
think
off on
of
a high
Monster
note.
Quad? Monster Quad. What is
Monster
it?
Quad.
Monster Quad.
It's not a vegetable.
Well, I just went to put trivia on my phone and it came back tibia.
Tibia.
Titius.
Tibia.
Tibia.
That's anatomy.
I know.
We're not doing anatomy.
I know. It was trying to autocorrect me. I'm like, no, trivia.
Trivia, not tibia.
Not tibia.
Titius.
Oh wow.
So obviously, it's not going to get a huge rating for the acting. I don't understand how Sean is their leader. He literally knew the least
I know.
out of all
He was
of
very
them.
temperamental too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it was.
and he was the leader just because he like forced his way into it or something.
And he was
Like,
very angry about it. I'm the leader. Damn, dude. Okay, chill.
If you
Yeah,
think
you're the
so,
leader.
like,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know. He annoyed me. I never noticed that he annoyed me before, but this time,
Yeah, he was
especially,
kind of pretentious.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I don't like Sean. I liked Eugene because he was cute, and like all of the things he did, I just thought were cute. Like wanting to try to get the army guys there. He had the little dog, and it was just cute. Mummy came to my house. Is she a version? It was cute. Of course, there's a lot of nostalgia for me. And then I really did like the transformation scenes I noticed this time just because of it would show you bits. And
Yeah.
it would, it gave it sort of like a air of mystery you didn't have to see. And, I respect that because to me, you see a lot of movies where they show like everything and you go, shouldn't have shown me that because that looks like shit.
Yeah.
You know,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
They did the less is more approach, and I really have to respect that. I think that they knew what their limitations were, and they went with it. Dracula, in my opinion, killed it because the dude's fucking ruthless.
He was very formidable.
He gave
Yeah, I like
no
that.
shits.
That's what I liked. He was actually evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gave
There's
no
nothing
shits
nice about him.
He gave no shits about anybody. There was no, calmness or happiness to him at all. There was
Mhm.
no.
I
He
agree.
called Phoebe a bitch.
Yeah, I like that.
He
Yeah.
pulled her up in the air and called her a bitch.
Give me the yammy, you little bitch.
He didn't say
Or,
little.
no,
he
he said
just
just
said
you
you
bitch."
bitch. Like there
Yeah.
was no cool and calm.
Yeah, I
there.
like that he was so ruthless. That
he-
was cool.
Well, he was very calm, but there was no like chill to his
right.
And all of the other monsters, being the original monsters, even though they weren't. I really like that, and that they had to stick with the original rules. But of course, it is not Oscar worthy. There's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of continuity. But I saw this as a kid. I didn't see that kind of stuff, and I showed it to my kids. They love it. Well, Jack loves it. Gage loved it. He watched this like every day for like a year. I was sick of it. I was sick of hearing it after a while. But yeah. So I'm gonna give it a 7 because I think it's solid for a kids movie. It's good.
Okay. Eric.
All right, so I really didn't like the acting in it. I mean, right off the bat, I really didn't care for it too much. There were some comedy points to it that I did enjoy. Like I said, I think the best acting was the little girl Phoebe. I think she did a good job. I mean, the aesthetics to the costumes and stuff, that was pretty neat. I mean, like I said, I thought the mummy, the creature from Black Lagoon, even well, whatever. It's gonna be the creature.
Oh, it is, yeah.
The creature.
Even Dracula's costume was decent.
It's very cheesy.
Yeah, it's very cheesy.
It's the original.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I get why it's there.
yeah.
To me, it just felt like I said before, it's a B-rated version, a horror B-rated version of the Goonies. So I came in with a 6 for me.
Okay. Madison.
This movie was a movie.
They're all movies.
Well, yeah, duh, or else it wouldn't be a thing. We'd be calling it like a Crowley or something. Like a Crowler. We'd be calling it a Crowler. If we didn't call it a movie, I bet you anything it'd be called Crowler.
Okay, so about your rating.
Okay, sorry. But you guys know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like, if people didn't name movies, they would have named it something weirder, like Crowler, or like.
Do you know why it's called a movie?
Shirley.
Do you know why it's called a movie?
Why?
Moving picture.
Yo, I know that.
Okay.
I don't know why I said no. Anyways, this movie was okay. I didn't like it as much as the old movies that you guys usually show me, though. You guys,
The old movies.
Oh, the old movies. The movies that came out whenever you were kids. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You old fucks.
I mean, Hocus Pocus. I love that movie. Or what's the other one?
wasn't
The
that
Goonies.
old.
I love that movie, but I don't really like this movie that much. I love Halloween movies though.
Okay, but we're talking about the Monster Squad right now.
I am, and I'm telling you that I don't like it
Okay.
So what's your
as
rating?
what's
much
your
as other
rating?
movies. I believe the acting. I like the idea of the characters. I just don't like how they were carried out.
Okay. You don't have to give us a
Yeah.
good rating to impress us or make us feel
Yeah.
better.
I'm
If
not.
you don't like the fucking movie, then
Just
tell us
say
you don't
it.
like it.
Say you
If it's a
Damn,
2,
dude,
give it a 2.
straightforward.
I don't give a
I'm
shit.
not giving it a 2. It's not that bad. Jesus Christ.
I know it's not that bad, but
I'm gonna give it a 5. How's
okay, that's fine.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a fair rating. I think for me, I think for me, so I didn't like a lot of things about this movie. I think the creature effects are awesome. I think that Frankenstein looks awesome. The Wolfman had good. I just didn't like his face. His face bothered me. His mask didn't look right. I think the main character, the kid, I didn't like him. I thought he was a little dickhead. I didn't like his friend. I thought there were too many white kids. I think there are too many white kids in this movie.
Hey, if there had been a black one, he'd probably died.
No, he wouldn't. He didn't even have to be black. Make him Mexican or fucking Israeli, whatever. There's too many fucking white kids in this movie. Every person in this movie is white except the one person that fucking dies. The one person who dies is black.
It was the 80s, so.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, you were right.
The coolest person in the whole fucking movie got blown up. He was the best character. That disappointed the shit out of me. I got to thinking about it after he got blown up, like, hold on. I think he's the only one that really died. Like, one of the main characters. He's the only one that
People
died.
got sucked into the.
Yeah, but they weren't main characters. They weren't like,
No, you're right.
they didn't have dialogue or anything, you know? The only other person that died other than
He
him
had
was
all the
fucking
good dialogue.
or not Frankenstein, but was fucking Van Helsing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, when you think about horror logic,
Yeah, I get that, but
that's the bad
still,
part.
like the only cool person in the movie was a black dude, and he fucking
You
died.
should have seen it coming.
And he didn't even get like blood sucked or not. No, he got blown up,
yeah.
for no reason.
Well,
Anyway,
there is a reason.
is it because he's black?
It was a token black guy. In
That's
every horror
fucking
movie.
stupid. I hated
Dracula's
it.
an asshole.
He was
They're
my
just trying to
favorite
prepare those
character. He was
kids
the only
for the
one that
rest
had
of
like
their
quippy
I loved
one-liners.
him. I loved him.
He had the best quippy one-liners, and they blew
Did you
him up.
steal it?
Yeah.
No. Damn.
Damn. He's just. Anyway, I didn't like the main character. I didn't like his little white friend. I didn't. I liked the one dude, the older kid with the leather
Rudy.
jacket.
Rudy?
Rudy.
Rudy. I liked him. He was cool. He's smoking a cigarette throughout most of the movie and drinking a lot of Pepsi. Product placement. Awesome.
Well, and spitting it out
And spinning it out. Yeah, a lot.
and lighting matches with his shoe.
Yeah, and then he's like, what are you gonna do? I'm in the damn club, aren't I? Yeah, he is. And then he kills a fucking vampire. What'd you do, you
Three
little
of 'em.
bitch? He
killed
almost got
3 of
sucked
them.
into the
I
like
think
the
Rudy
main.
killed the most.
He did
did.
the most. He
Yeah.
did the most.
Yeah, he did.
He killed the mummy. He killed a vampire.
He killed a lot of
killed
vampires.
3
There
I think
was
he killed-
three of them.
I think he killed all 3 of the vampires,
Yeah, he killed
yeah.
the 3 vampires.
And then he- what
then
else?
he killed the werewolf.
And he killed the werewolf. Yeah, he killed everything
Yeah,
except
except for the Gill
black-
Man.
the
Yeah.
Gill Man, which you had to give the fat kid his moment,
Yeah.
and then you had to give the main
So what
character
the fuck
his moment.
did Sean do?
Who?
He just
Sean
stood there.
with his thumb up his ass.
He
He's
didn't
the
do
fucking
shit.
leader.
No,
Whatever.
he did. He killed Dracula, I guess. He was already on his way to dying anyway. He's going to purgatory, but he stabbed him and was like, "Oh, guys, I did something."
Sean is.
I didn't like him. He was a dick,
I didn't like Sean.
and he's a dick. And his wife was, or his mom was a dick too.
Wife.
His mom was a dick too.
Hey, that was the mom from the Goonies
I
too.
don't care.
I'm just
She's
throwing
a
that
bitch.
out there.
I didn't like her.
I'm just
She was
throwing
like
that out
bitching
there.
at her husband for working.
I know.
For
I
working.
know.
What was
I'm a
that?
cop.
Yeah, I know.
He says that too. He's like, I'm a cop.
I'm a cop. I have to do this. She's like, yeah, you're never home. Blah blah blah. What about me? What the fuck? What about you? What about people's lives that I'm saving?
No shit.
You
Or the
selfish
money
whore.
you need to be.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Stay-at-home mom.
She really wanted the house to be clean when they tore it down. So
Yeah.
she might have just needed his help.
There's just a lot of unlikable people in this movie. I know. Think about it. There's a lot of unlikable
It's
people.
just
in
the
this-
kid. The kids are cool except for Sean.
The kids are cool except for Sean, and I liked his dad.
Dell. Del
Yeah,
was
I
cool.
liked him. He was hardcore. I liked him.
Remember
And I
when-
liked his partner till he died.
Remember his partner walks up and he's like, "Ask me about, or are you gonna ask me about the car?" And he's like, "What about the car? I thought you'd never ask."
So you never ask. See, that's good shit. He had good lines, man. Other than that,
they should have a buddy cop movie with just those two, like
they
a
really
prequel.
should, because they were the best part of the movie. They really were. You just bumped my score up a little bit. I'm thinking about the cop, the
buddy
two
cop
cops,
movie.
and I'm like, these guys are awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I like the cop guys. I don't even like the kids. Frankenstein was awesome.
Tom Noonan.
I don't know, man. I was gonna give it a 5. I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 6. Nah, fuck that. I'm giving it a 5.5. I'm gonna give it a 5.5 because I think that the movie could have been good. It had a great concept, but it just
It dropped the ball.
it dropped the ball. I think that the movie could have been better with better dialogue. Give the actual kids more fucking substance, man. They're like a bunch of little rambling dickheads.
Well, the
Yeah.
kids that had substance weren't the ones that they were trying to get you to focus on. Like
Yeah,
Sean was supposed to be like the leader,
and he was a
but
cock.
he had the least amount of substance.
Yeah, he was a little cockhead. And then there, his one friend who barely got any dialogue, except for whenever he was just being a smartass, which was okay.
sure.
But like, I don't know, man.
They
I
were
did-
supposed to be your main focus, but they just
weren't.
they weren't.
And then the German guy,
Yeah.
they didn't even give that guy a fucking name.
yeah.
It's just too sporadic.
It was just all over the place. I didn't like it. I thought that there were a lot of holes in this movie that I didn't understand. I didn't get it. Like, why were they transporting Frankenstein?
Like, what's
They-
another
they try to
20
fit
minutes
too
to
much
make
into
Because
such
they
a
were
short
they
frame.
were going to that house to get the amulet and everything.
I get that, but why did they have a plane full of dead bodies?
I feel like if they added like an extra
What do you
15
mean?
minutes.
Well, they said it was a bunch of dead carcasses back there in the plane.
Uh-huh.
And then why would I don't understand? There's a lot of things that I don't understand about this movie, but
I would assume that Dracula set it up somehow.
I probably,
he's
I
got money
guess,
and all that
yeah.
stuff, but yeah,
I don't know.
because
I
he needed
guess.
them. Remember?
You're right. Yeah. Anyway, that's my gripe with it. But you think, okay? So my main issue with this. So if all the monsters get sucked into the thing or whatever, then why would Dracula want all the monsters in one place? You know what I mean? Like, if they all get sucked in and that destroys the amulet and they can never get released from...
He carries around bombs. He thinks striking first is striking
I know, but like,
hard.
if they all get sucked into limbo, that will destroy the amulet. Then why does he want all of them in one place together, knowing that it could very well be the end of all of them instead of like their salvation?
He wants them all
You know what I'm
together
saying?
so they can all
Yeah,
create
no,
a
I know
big
exactly what you're
bang.
saying. Why do Bond villains monologue?
That's true. I get it. Yeah, okay. Plot device, right? But still, I mean, and then also, so this town also has a museum that just happens to have a 3,000-year-old mummy in it.
Doesn't every town?
No.
Every town that
And
has
it
a
just
museum.
happens to be the same town that the amulet is in, along with the creature and the Wolfman. All in the same
I thought
place.
he made those though.
No.
Like he made the mummy. He brought the mummy back.
Okay, he might have brought
He
the money back, but
reanimated
you're
the
telling me,
mummy back.
yeah, okay,
He
yes, but
and then he
the mummy just
reanimated
happened to be.
Frankenstein. Gilman was a part of.
He didn't reanimate the mummy. The mummy just came back on its own.
No, he would have reanimated it just like he did Frankenstein. He would have went
Okay,
in
but-
there and did some mumbo jumbo.
Is he the only mummy on the planet?
No,
I
it
don't
was just the closest one.
get it. I don't get it. Maybe they should
It's
just
a
made a
kids'
miniseries
movie.
of this. Yeah, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
How was the Wolfman created?
Yeah, they say he didn't create the Wolfman.
He was bit by a werewolf
Oh, so there's another werewolf out there.
somewhere.
Right there. So the amulet can't be destroyed.
Maybe that one was killed earlier. I don't have all the answers. I'm only telling you what
Neither
the
does the
plot
movie.
said.
You're attacking Karen.
I'm not
like it's
attacking. I'm
her
just
fault.
asking the question.
I'm literally
I'm
just
like,
telling
I'm
you what the
confused,
plot
man.
of the movie was.
There's a lot of questions, man. Anyway, continue.
5.9.
Sorry, man.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, sorry, I ate
I
this one
literally
alive.
was just telling you the plot of the movie.
Anyway, oh man. Let's get into our Rotten Tomatoes scores. Which, by the way, fuck you, Rotten Tomatoes.
I was gonna say, shouldn't we use somebody else or something?
No, they're not gonna do anything about this old of a movie. Okay, so the Rotten Tomatoes thing, they were caught. Okay, I can't say Rotten Tomatoes was caught. What company was it that was buying? They were buying reviews. A company
some
for
indie movie.
it was for an indie movie that had just released. It has Daisy Ridley in it, as a matter of fact, and they were just caught buying up reviewers to give them positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes for this movie. So they're in a whole heap of shit for it. And
28.
deservedly, because that's bullshit. And this is what we've been saying about Rotten Tomatoes for
30.
forever, is that they're fucking, like, all the reviewers are fucking paid for.
The professional critics. That's why we don't give
31.
them too much credence. I'm gonna say 65.
31.
Let me get there. Hold on. So, what do you guys think of that Fall of the House of Usher?
30.
Oh, I'm down. Yeah.
I'm fucking excited for that shit. That show looks awesome. It's another what's his face?
Mike Flanagan.
Flanagan.
That's the last one he's doing before he goes to Amazon.
Oh,
For
is it?
Netflix. Yeah.
Okay.
34.
That's what you're going with.
I think so. Locked it down.
Final answer.
Yeah, I'm going straight up 52.
52,
34.
34,
65.
65. What was yours?
52.
What was yours?
65.
What was yours?
34.
I think Eric's gonna take this one. It's 56%. So actually, our review is like dead on. What was ours?
5.9.
5.9. So ours was actually just slightly higher than
Yeah.
this. Okay. Critics' consensus is a fun 80s adventure with a slightly scary twist. The Monster Squad offers tween-friendly horror with just enough of a kick. All right. Let's get the audience score.
36.
51.
62.
What was yours? What was yours?
36.
What was yours?
62.
Karen's going to take this one. 77%. Audience actually liked this
Man,
one.
I
a
was
little
going to say 65 again.
bit. A little bit higher. A little bit higher. Let's find some negative reviews. There's got to be a few. Here's one right on the front page. All right. 1.5. A very obvious attempt at recapturing what the Goonies successfully gave us. But the story is so thin it fails to stand up to the test of time as the Goonies does. Every character is very flat, and the plot is almost complete nonsense.
Wouldn't say every character.
Not every character, but most of them. Everybody but the black dude. I remember his name. Did he even have a name?
I don't think so. Not unless you were reading his badge.
All right, here's a half star. The movie is unwatchable. It took 5 attempts for me to make it through this movie. Why would you even try that many times?
Right.
For you to make it through this movie. And the only reason I watched it was because I wanted to watch a documentary about the Wolfman's Got Nards. The actual movie itself is terrible. Okay. Here's another half star. This movie is, and at least people's got like reasons for this. Usually it's just like, I didn't like it. It was dumb.
Meh.
Man, I'm gonna go play with my butthole now. What, you guys don't ever do that?
No.
Oh, I'm the only one. This movie is an embodiment of white supremacist hetero patriarchy. Includes homophobia, racism, sexism, fat phobia, horophobia, slut shaming, classism, xenophobia, and toxic masculinity. It was also a terrible production that was cliche and terribly done, but would not recommend this to anyone.
They're not wrong about any of
Holy-
that, but guess what?
It was the 80s?
Yeah, it was the 80s, and that's not.
Oh my god.
Whatever.
Heterosexuality, where was that at?
Heterosexuality.
Wait,
was
why is
straight.
heterosexuality a bad thing?
Yeah. Well, like you're telling me that it was heteropatriarchy.
Straight patriarchy.
Well, that just means man hating. Like, you're supposed
Includes
to be
homophobia,
supposed to be
racism,
man-hating now.
sexism, fat phobia, horrorphobia. What's
Maybe.
horrorphobia? Horrorphobia? Like,
Is that horror phobia? Wouldn't that mean you're scared of horror? Like
no, horror phobia.
horror phobia. So
Like
you're scared of
WHORE.
whores?
Like horror phobia? Like, I'm afraid of horrors. What, they got diseases.
Slut shaming, I understand.
That's like saying, "Oh, why are you scared of that raccoon? It's only got rabies." That's why I'm scared of that raccoon.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I'm not particularly fond of horrors.
Scared of my mouth.
Does that mean I have it?
Right? Okay, here's a 1-star. Holy shit, this is long. I'm not reading that. That's too much reading. I'll give you one more.
I hate it when people say like this movie didn't age well, and they list off all these reasons.
I like this right here. This is simple. It's a 1.5. Good villains and dumb protagonists. I agree.
I think we said something similar.
Yeah, we said pretty much the same thing. That one's in Spanish. Hold on. Here's a 1.5. Saw this on a list of great movies that didn't do great at the box office and wish I had never seen it at all. It's bad. It's not that bad. It's not a 1.5 bad to where you're like, ugh, worst movie ever. Like, no, it's really not. Like, go watch Troll 2.
Oh, but
I guess that's a good kind of bad.
that's a
though.
good bad.
But you could call this a good bad too, if that be the case. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I mean?
this has got, I don't know.
You can't sit there
redeeming-
and tell me that this has the potential to be like, well, they meant to make a good movie, so therefore it's bad out of consequence.
No,
Well,
I mean
well,
it
so
has,
was Troll
it
2.
has that like redeemingness for the kid factor. I mean, like I can
Oh,
sit there and
yeah.
watch this with my kids.
I
And they love
gotcha.
it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Here's a 1-star. It has some potential and B-movie style charm in a few scenes, but however, the Monster Squad can't seem to make scares and laughs met, resulting in an unevenly paced B-movie. See, I agree, because one thing that I found to be a problem with the movie is that it couldn't decide what it wanted to be. Like, in one instance, you're like, this is a good B-movie. In the other instance, you're like, but it's not a B-movie. This is supposed to be like a high-budget movie. Well, then why does it look like a B-movie? Like, where does it stand? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt about it watching it. I'm like, is it a B-movie? Or is it supposed to be like this high-budget movie? Like, you don't know where it's supposed to be or where it stands. Like, if it was a straight-up just B-movie, like, all right, this makes sense. You know, but that's where I kind of felt with, like, how I felt about it. Like, it was like they were taking these classic monsters. Like, the creature looked good. Underutilized, though. Dracula looked like your classic Dracula. That gives me B-movie vibes. That's B-movie vibes. Dracula looked like a B-movie character.
I disagree.
I don't disagree. I think that's exactly, with his costume, everything, he looked like a B-movie character.
I disagree. I think they were just doing the 30s and 40s looking Dracula. The
Maybe.
only difference is
But
that
that
he's
gives me
not black and
B-movie
white.
vibes, though.
I understand, but I'm just saying the only difference is that he's not black and white. You can't
Right.
do a 30s
I
and
get
40s
that.
Dracula.
But then there's the Wolfman. Like, his body looked good, but like his face looked like shit.
Mhm.
And then there was
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I can only tell you
Yeah.
that they had a reason for it.
and then there's the cheesiness of the kids and this and that. You know, like, where are you trying to stand with this? You know, there was a lot of things that I didn't quite understand, and I don't know if they knew exactly where they were going with this movie. You know, it's like, we got this great concept for this movie. Let's slap this bitch together, and that's what they did here. And I felt like that's where it failed, because, you know, if you get into, like, if you take Goonies for example, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew what they wanted, and they ran with what they wanted. Nothing more, nothing less. They didn't say, hey, let's give this some B movie bullshit. No, they were like, hey, how about, what do you think about some, like, Indiana Jones sprinkled in there? Or, you know, this and that. They knew what they wanted, and that's what they went for. You know what I mean? So I think that's where they kind of tripped over their own feet a little bit in this movie.
I don't know what kind of budget they had, though.
I don't either.
Goonies
I
had
don't
a huge
either.
budget.
I don't know what, I'm sure they did. Steven Spielberg backed it.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
I don't know what kind of budget they were working
yeah,
with.
so like in this case, I don't know what kind of budget they had. I don't know. Maybe they did the best with what they had. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying that that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
So I am here to
Oh,
judge.
you're
Who the
here
fuck
to
am I?
judge,
Yeah,
I was
like-
exactly what I'm doing.
What?
Yeah. Anyway.
You sound also awful judgy for not judging.
Yeah. Well, we all judged it.
Well, yeah, but we didn't say we weren't here to do it. You did.
So, I mean,
anyway,
I'm not here to judge. But
anyway,
I'm judging
Karen,
you.
what trivia you got for us?
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
Due to licensing issues, the crew had to create characters that were suggestive but not exact copies of Universal's iconic monsters. The challenge was to suggest those classic creatures but without really copying them. Because we didn't have permission or the license to use those specific images, so we could do a gill man, for example, but it couldn't look too much like the creature from the Black Lagoon. It was frustrating for us at first because, of course, we wanted to do the original designs, but we couldn't, so we could only suggest those designs. So the Frankenstein monster looks a bit like the Karloff creature, but instead of bolts in the neck, he has bolts in the forehead. There was a certain percentage of changes we had to make to get away with it from any legal copyright infringement. The scene, I love this one. The scene where Dracula lifts Phoebe up and she screams was done in one take. Duncan Rager wouldn't wear his red contacts or fangs around the 5-year-old Ashley Bank because it scared her too much. And apparently they got really, close behind the scenes, her and that Dracula guy. Like, they would sit together at lunch and he would, do, magic tricks and stuff for her. And so, this scene in particular, he didn't really want to do.
Because he called her a bitch.
Yeah, and he's got to, be mean to her.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't wear the red contacts and the fangs because that's the only way that she was scared of him. The rest of the time, she wasn't scared of him as Dracula. So, anyway, for the scene, director Fred Decker just told Ashley to scream once the platform raised her. When she asked when, Decker told her, "Oh, you'll know," and proceeded to shoot. When the terrified scream you hear when Dracula opens his eyes is Ashley's genuine scream of fright. Could you imagine them being so close and him having to do that? I'm sure as soon as it was cut, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, you little
Yeah,
bitch.
I was going to ask, how did that actor react after he called her a bitch?
Yeah.
It'd have been funny if she screamed I'm so sorry, you little bitch.
Yeah.
Cut, and then he's hugging her and shit.
Yeah. Liam Neeson was paid for a bit part that was never shot. In 2006, Wizard Magazine made a list of the 100 greatest villains of all time. This version of Dracula was ranked as number 30 on the list, but surprisingly, it was for Duncan Rager's performance in the film. His performance was chosen over all other versions of the character. Rager's Dracula is still considered to be one of the absolute best interpretations of the character.
He does do a good job. I'll give him that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's
evil.
just evil.
He's just evil, yeah.
There's no
He's kind of like how we felt about
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage's.
There was no other.
Yeah.
He had a focus, and that was it.
he was pure evil. There was nothing nice about him.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. I guess in Bram Stoker Dracula with
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman, I guess he had love for what's her face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that was it, I guess. But
but that's still a weakness.
Yeah,
That's still
I guess so.
You can use
he
that.
showed weakness, I suppose.
You can use that.
Yeah.
why did Rudy switch up so fast? He was so into that girl, and then all of a sudden he was blackmailing her.
Because she's a bitch.
Because she's a bitch.
As soon as he got to know her, he was like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, you're a hoe.
Seth-
I just like creeping on you through your window.
Yeah. It's one thing to look at somebody and go, damn, and then you get to know them and you're like,
You're like, oh, I don't like you.
I don't like you at all.
I've done that with people before.
Yeah.
You see somebody in real, oh, damn, yeah, she looks good. And then you get to talking to her, you are a fucking moron.
Yeah, I can't stand
I
you.
can't fucking stand you.
Seth Green screen tested for a role and even read with Andre Gower, who was cast as Sean. The two became good friends. Dustin Diamond had a small role as a kid who tried to trade baseball cards with the boys, but this was later cut. There is the same "dead guys do not get up and walk away by themselves" line, followed by a shot of a dead guy walking down a street as in The Night of the Creeps, also written and directed by Fred Decker. Despite multiple references from characters about the 40s, the original Universal Monsters films all came out in the 1930s. Browning's Dracula was early 1931. Frankenstein was 1931. The Mummy was in 1932. Walker's original werewolf film was in 1935. Admittedly, though, 1941 was Lon Chaney's Wolfman, which is the more popular version. Arnold's Creature from the Black Lagoon was much later released in 1954. Truly, the only real 1940s monster referenced in the film is done so in passing. The teacher Cathead is a clear reference to the 1942 Cat People. Jason Hervey wears a Walter Payton shirt in this movie, while his on-screen brother from the Wonder Years, Fred Savage, wears a Walter Payton jersey in The Princess Bride. Ryan Lambert, who plays Rudy, is an ordained Lutheran minister and officiated Frank Stallone's wedding. The armadillos glimpsed in Dracula's castle at the very beginning are a reference to Dracula from 1931, where they were seen with Count Dracula, played by Bela Lugosi, first emerging from his coffin during the opening sequence. Armadillos are indigenous to the Americas, and while the appearance in Transylvania Castle was seen as a goof in the earlier film, they are obviously meant as an homage here. The brief scene where Frankenstein meets Phoebe playing by the water is a clear homage to a similar yet more tragic scene in the original Frankenstein film. The way in which the scene plays out in this film is, according to the previous interviews, more in line with the way Boris Karloff wanted to do the scene in the 1931 original. That's it.
There you go. That's the Monster Squad from 1987. What are we going to do next week, Karen?
I don't know, Joseph. What are we doing next week?
We're watching Barbie.
I'm a Barbie.
And he's not joking either.
I'm
We're
not
actually
joking. We are watching Barbie.
Yeah.
We are watching Barbie with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. I don't know. None of us here have seen this movie, so this is a new one to us. We figure we'll give you a new movie because we've tortured you for so long with all the older movies. So let's
It's not for kids. It's PG-13. 1 hour and 54 minutes.
According to Margot Robbie, this movie is for everyone. It is aimed at everyone.
I'm gonna have to disagree with that because there's way too much pink in here for it to be aimed at me.
It's not for kids.
Pink is a manly color.
It is not for kids. It is for 13 or older. Next week we're gonna do Barbie. So join us for that, and hope to God we
Dad, can you wear a kin wig? Please.
We should just dress up as all Barbies.
Please. I'll be Raquel.
What? No, all just Barbie, blonde hair, pink clothes.
I'm not going blonde for you.
I don't have anything
Go
pink.
I don't either.
I don't have anything pink either. That's why I said Raquel, because Raquel wears black, red, and white.
I have no idea
And
who
Barbie
that
Life in
is.
the Dream House.
I don't know any of them. I didn't even
You could
have
be
Barbies, I don't
Chelsea.
think.
You can be Skipper.
Now, if you said, "Hey, I'm going to dress up as Raphael," it's like, sweet, I'm going to be Leonardo. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that too, but I also know Barbie.
I'll be Michelangelo.
That makes you
orange
Raphael.
is my favorite color. You can be purple.
Alright, I'll be Donatello. I got the stick.
Do you want to?
Kind of stick.
Do you want to be Raphael?
You
Karen?
went dark on that one. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Dark, or I just put my mind in the gutter.
You just went.
It's right for the gutter. All right. Anyway, join us next week. We're gonna do
God damn it, there's-
Barbie next week. Don't forget to check out our TikTok, our X, Facebook. Apparently, we have an Instagram too. We'll be getting on that, won't we, Madison?
We will.
Because if you don't, Karen will.
you know,
I can't.
always thought
Oh,
it was-
you will. If she doesn't, you will. Because I'll make sure to get the info for it.
Around
Um,
Christmas time, I always thought I was Donatello.
It's
Also-
just the email. It's the email and the
we'll get there. Hold
password
on.
for everything else.
Oh
Yeah, we're on
yeah.
video.
It's just shit
Make
that-
sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out our YouTube and all that good stuff. Make sure you tell your friends about us. Don't forget to rate us, comment, all that good stuff. And until next week, when shit's a whole lot pinker.
Can we actually make all
No.
the lights pink and everything?
I'm a Barbie girl.
I'll
I
bring-
already did that.
I will.
sang it.
I'll bring a barbecue thingy down here and put all my Barbies on it. Yeah?
You have Barbies?
My old ones from when I was a kid.
Do they have clothes?
Please say no, because that's the best.
Only my Elsa dolls have
Like you
clothes.
said, you need to have a Sid doll.
Say, Cody used to have Barbies, and this explains a lot. They never had clothes. Yeah, my sister, we knew early on that she was gay. You go in and she just have this drawer full of Barbies and they're just all naked. But all the Kens got their clothes.
Cody has to explain it.
Yeah. No, she don't. She's done explained it. Like,
Yeah,
I
we-
like girls.
we already know.
We already know. It's been explained.
Most of my Monster High dolls do. I have a lot more Monster High dolls than I do Barbie dolls.
I never looked at a Barbie doll and thought, damn. You know what I mean? Like,
I would hope
You
not.
just sound like Tyler Perry.
no, I mean, like, even as a kid, I wasn't like, yeah, Barbie's hot, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I was never trying to, like, you know how boys undress Barbies? Like, oh, does she have boobies? She doesn't even have nipples. Like, no, I wasn't doing that because I didn't fucking care. Like, Barbie was stupid.
I mean, there's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Barbie's got curves though.
Not really.
Yeah, huh?
She's only got curves because she wears a size -2.
Impossible curves
Yeah.
on a real person.
She was supposed to be modeled
Stick figure.
after what was supposed to be considered perfect.
It was the 50s perfect.
And it wasn't
The original 50s Barbie, yes, but like if you take a Barbie today and you try to model it to a real person, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really? How?
Yeah, because of her curves, her shape.
If you took it by ratio, like by a real ratio, and tried to apply it to a real person, it's impossible.
Why?
Because her body is unnatural.
Like the waist would be this big, and the hips would be like this. Like your total like
Then
your
she'd
center of
have
gravity
like a
is
a
completely
round
off.
butt, and then like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
But it
that's
makes
why
sense in
people
the
who
50s.
try to look like Barbie have to go through extreme
Surgery,
plastic
yeah.
surgery.
Take
like there's
ribs
that girl
out.
that's done it,
yeah,
and she had
it's
that.
gross.
She had like rib cage. Like her rib cage was like broken in several places and like healed in a way so that her waist is literally like a V. And that's the proportion that you have to be like Barbie.
No wonder all these girls are out there and they're like, "Ooh, I want to be like Barbie shaped."
I
and stuff," and
blame
they
Barbie and a lot of movie stars and influencers nowadays
can't. Models.
for the problem with body. How do I put
Or
it?
maybe just have your
Dysmorphia?
own.
No, like body shaming and body what
Dysmorphia.
they think that standard beauty should be nowadays. It's fucking pathetic, really. So,
I know there were boys talking. At
like, if you
school.
don't have 8 layers of makeup on, you're not attractive, apparently. So,
There were some boys talking at school, like on the second or third day of school, and they were looking at all these models, and they were like, "Why don't the girls here look like that?" That's what
because
they
they're
were talking
disgusting. The models are disgusting. They don't eat. They literally starve themselves to look that way.
I'll have a crouton and some water.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's literally what they eat.
about.
They'll
15 minutes
eat
later,
a piece
throwing
of
up
bread
in the
and some
bathroom.
water, and that's about all they eat. Anyway, next week, Barbie. Everybody say bye.
Okay, bye.
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 Peace out, bitches.